Yes, guys. Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. Thank you for coming to another show, guys. We have got a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk about last night's game. We got the Fulham game to talk about. Alexis Mac Allister, Luiz, Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's got 100 GA as a right back, not getting mentioned at all. Mad. So loads of stuff to talk about, and of course, I have to bring one of the very best with me to talk about this. Cal, how you doing, man?
Not too bad, bro. I got a confession to make. Although I love the new theme tune, it's got that Johnny Gargano vibe. I miss the old one, Jay. I can't lie, bro. That was my song, man. That used to get me hyped for your shows.
I like that one. I'll put it.
No, I do like the new one as well. Now,
big up, man. Thanks for having me. You're welcome. I've got about 7 intros. Someone, I keep making them because I never know what I like, and I just keep making them when I'm bored. But yeah, someone asked me for the song for that, who works for a certain media company.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, for a certain media company that show football in a certain media channel. Yeah. They gave me a call the other day. How they got my number, I don't know. But they gave me a call the other day.
They always find the bloody way, bro.
They find it.
And they want to find you, they'll find it.
I was like, oh, and like, they said to her as they were, like, oh, is this an opportunity or something? No, can we nick your shit? But guys, I hope everyone's doing well. Thank you again for joining us. Let's say we've got loads to talk about. There's loads of Liverpool stuff to talk about, and now there's no national crap till March. We've got loads of Liverpool content coming up on everyone's channels. I think everyone's going to be busy now from now till March, especially with a lot of games coming up. But let's talk about the game last night. So I did my match preview, like you guys probably did as well, just before the game, and picking the team, who it would go play. And the team I picked was a reasonable side. And then I saw the lineup, and I actually watched that Cal yesterday and gone, that's a really strong side. Were we wrong about the way Jurgen's looking at this competition compared to us fans? Because a lot of people were like, oh, Mo will never play any of the group games. I think he's played every one. It's just, you see his sub yesterday. I don't know who he had beef with. I don't know if he didn't like that manager. But he was like, you see who I'm bringing off. Well, look who I'm bringing on. You want, I don't know, Klopp didn't like him or something. He just wanted to put him to the sword. But strong lineup again in Europa League, Cal. We have got Alisson injured, Jota injured. We've got some missing players, Thiago and stuff like that. Robbo and
Bichetti.
Is it a little bit of a gamble going so strong for these Thursday night games, especially how easy the group is?
For this game, I did think so, and I always get a difficult time when I speak on Jurgen Klopp because big up Luke. I always get a difficult time speaking on Jurgen Klopp because I think people just think I go at him for the sake of it. But all right, as a fan base, we sat here in the summer and went, okay, DM situation is still not great, but we've got brilliant depth everywhere else. As a fan base, we collectively said that. Again, in the summer, I said, I think Doak has got a great future ahead of him. I don't think he's ready yet. And I got really berated for it. I said, I don't know if Endo's good enough, but we're with him now. We've got to see what happens. I got berated for it. We barely see Endo play. And I think he had a decent game yesterday as well. I think he was good yesterday, actually. And I think he brings us some balance, but that's for a different conversation. Doak didn't even get a game or any minutes yesterday. Salah started. You look at players on the bench like Kai Gordon, all right, he's just come back from injury, so maybe you only give him a couple minutes. But for me, what's the point of bringing those kids along unless you're going to give them some minutes? And again, I said this in the preview. If we can't trust these players against Lask at home, then when can we trust them? And that's no disrespect to Lask, but we saw how easy that was for Mo last night. Mo never even got out of first gear, and it was so easy for him.
He's a level above, I think.
Yeah, and I just think, why not actually give him some game time? Like for me yesterday, we were never going to lose that game. And again, no disrespect to Lass, but we were never going to lose that game unless some absolute crazy stuff happened. And then when we went 2-3-0 up, I'm thinking, oh, okay, yeah. Went 3-0 up quite late. But when we went 2-0 up, I'm like, oh, okay, we're calm now. And like then, as you said, he must have beef with the manager because he brought on Trent, Jones, and who was Nunes.
Darwin.
And I'm thinking, all right, Darwin's our only. All right, if you're going to play Gakpo there, fair enough. But Darwin's our main striker, especially with Jota being out now. I'm like, did Darwin need to come on? Like, did Trent need to come on? And granted, I got to see Trent in midfield, so I'm over the moon with that. And he got an assist from midfield. Kind of looked a little bit like Steven Gerrard back in the day, but I digress. And then Jones came on, and you're thinking, again, did Jones really need the minutes? So I don't know, man.
I can understand.
The question for you, bro, is like, does Jurgen fully trust the squad yet?
I don't think Jurgen has full trust in some players at this moment in time. Like you're 3-0 up. So if I look at it, like if we say, okay, the team is what the team was, Klopp just wanted to win that game, get it done, win the group, and then he can do what he wants in the last game, and we qualify for the last 16, we ain't got that extra game. I'm fine with that. Okay, do that. But it's the substitutions I find a bit like Luke Chambers got, 3 minutes?
Yeah, that was another one.
At the end and stuff like that. If we're 3-0 up at home at Anfield, surely you can trust someone like Luke Chambers to come on and play 40 minutes when you're 3-0 up. Now, I just, give him a bit more European experience at Anfield under the lights. It's what these players want to play for. That was, and as you say with Darwin, since Jota got injured, I'm worried now for the forward line. It's mad because we still got players there, but you take Jota out, who's a clinical finisher in tight games, and then you just take out someone else in that forward line, then we look depleted. Then it looks like a problem. And that was my only concern with Darwin coming on. But look, some of the players, I thought it was right to start I've got to say, I do think it might have been right to start Gakpo and Diaz.
Yes. Diaz, I wasn't sure
Diaz
about.
Diaz hasn't played enough for me this season for obvious reasons. And Gakpo needs that. I think he needs an adrenaline boost, a bit of momentum going into the Christmas time. So I think them two starting were fine, and they played really well, and they showed their class at times. Salah starting again is just, I don't know. I don't know if Mo just has it in his contract that if he's fit, he plays. I don't know what it is there. Wataru Endo. Now I've seen people on Twitter again going after Wataru Endo.
He had a good game.
I thought he was all right. Do you know what he does really well? He's passing.
Yeah, pass through the line as well.
He's getting hold of the ball and he moves it quite quickly.
Yeah,
that's what. And I think if we keep listening to Klopp, that's what he likes. That's what he wants. He wants a DM who can move the ball quickly. And Endo does it actually quite well. He goes about his business on the ball actually really well. It's what he does off the ball that gets people a bit infuriated. But I don't think he was that bad yesterday. And everyone keeps saying we're easier to play against. Like they played through our midfield yesterday. And they did have chances. But I say, Cal, is that to do with the system or the DM?
Yeah. It's the tactic. A little bit of both, to be fair, because neither Endo or Mac Allister are very athletic. But ultimately, tactics are there to protect your players, and the tactics weren't there yesterday to protect the players. We were very gung ho. I think Klopp basically, in my mind, what I believe Klopp said is, look, go out there and get the win. I trust our attack more than their attack. If it turns into a gunfight, then we're not losing this game. We'll just keep on outscoring them, and that's pretty much what happened. Obviously, Kelleher made some good saves as well. But look, I think the elephant in the room is that DM position. I think Endo should be starting because it gives us better balance and it allows Mac Allister to play in a preferred role or a more advanced role where I think he'd do more damage. And I just think he's more naturally suited to playing as a DM because he's done it all of his life pretty much. But at the same time, Mac Allister is a better footballer. So I can understand Klopp's logic, but at the same time, if that was the case, then why go for it? And it's just a weird. It just feels like a weird signing.
Yeah, it does. It does. And one thing I will say about Lautaro, I don't mind him making that tactical foul because no one else does it.
Yeah.
What do we say about people like Rodri and stuff like that? They make so many tactical fouls. The dark arts, man. Liverpool are always a very nice team to play against. You're not going to get much. But I like the dark arts. I will say, I think Lautaro just gives you balance in that midfield for the attacking midfield players. I thought Harvey Elliott was excellent yesterday. I really enjoyed Harvey Elliott's game yesterday because, he looks a bit more comfortable on the pitch, maybe because of the opposition we're playing. But, with Lautaro there, it just gives him that bit more defensive balance to go and do what he wants to do. I actually thought Harvey Elliott was the best midfielder yesterday because I thought Gravenberch was a bit poor in possession. Gave away a ball quite a lot like yesterday. But his work rate is amazing. So he always goes back and wins the ball and stuff like that. So it's not too much of concern for me with Gravenberch. But we won yesterday 4-0. It was actually nice game to watch. It was a comfortable game to watch. It was relaxing to watch. Watch some players play, and Salah a league above this competition by a country mile. Diaz getting a beautiful headed goal, by the way, ghosting in. I like that.
That's a beautiful header.
Gakpo in the right positions to get tap-ins and stuff like that, where he should be if he's playing that role.
Second goal was well taken as well.
Oh, that second goal was beautiful from that pass from Trent. It's so underrated. Just ridiculous.
Midfield.
Man, that man.
Midfield.
Let's talk about Trent. Let's talk about Trent for a second. Because that pass, that assist to Gakpo was his 100th GA for Liverpool Football Club as a right back, Cal.
That's crazy.
That's madness.
It's crazy.
Absolute madness. And I think we're always going to have the debate where Trent should play right back, midfield, inverted. I can understand. The more I watch now, I can understand what Klopp's trying to do with the inverted stuff because Trent comes into midfield unnoticed. I get it. He's so good on the ball, Cal. His passing is ridiculous. He's up there with some of the, not just in the best in the league. I'm talking Europe, full stop.
He's top 5 in Europe, in my opinion, for passing.
It's just, what do you think it takes? Does it take Klopp just to go, you know what? I'm just going to buy a right back who's more defensive minded, and we'll go play through Trent as a midfielder instead of play through Trent as a right back, and do it that way. Or do we just continue with the inverted role? Because as much as it causes us defensive issues, I think we've only lost once with Trent playing this role. So, where do you think we stand on this? We're in a bit of we're in purgatory at the moment, let's say. We're not in one place or the other with Trent at the moment. He's got all the quality in the world to probably suit a certain position, but the manager could be right playing him inverted at the moment. What do you reckon?
It's a tough one because I think you said this, Joe. When we were winning things, he was playing as a conventional right back. However, I think this happens with players a lot. Players develop in different ways and into different roles. I think that's happening with Trent. I think even when you look at his build now, he just looks like a midfielder. He feels like a midfielder. He moves like a midfielder. And it's a bit weird why Klopp won't just go all the way with it. Because if anyone is brave when it comes to making decisions about where players should play, we've seen it since Klopp's been here. We bought Wijnaldum as an attacking midfielder / winger and ended up playing in the 6 a lot of the time, as well as a ball playing 8. We've seen Henderson move from being a right midfielder to being a number 6. We saw Adam Lallana move from being an attacking midfielder / winger to being a number 8. If anyone's not scared to move a player out of position and play him in another position where he thinks it might suit the team best, it's Jurgen Klopp, Milner at left back for a season. But I wonder if Connor Bradley is the reason. I wonder if it's the fact that Connor Bradley not being available, Calvin Ramsey not being here, while why Klopp sort of went, well, Joey and Trent can rotate between right back. Now Connor's back. Maybe, just maybe we see him play there in midfield. And look, I'll be honest, I was one of Joe Gomez's biggest critics last season. At right back, I'm comfortable with Joe Gomez at right back. Apart from that Pedro Neto display in the first half, Joey's been pretty solid at right back.
I mean, let's face it, Neto's done that to everyone in the league this season.
Done it to everyone, exactly. Done it to everyone. Look what he did to Man City. Like,
exactly. I mean, yeah, so Joey G, though, I think he's played reasonably well this season, to be fair to Joe Gomez. Wherever he's played, left back, right back, centre back, I think he's put in good performances. He's got the trust of the manager. Connor Bradley, I think he just signed a new contract today, didn't he?
Yes, he did today, yeah.
So there's obviously a lot of belief in this young lad. And I think Klopp is now really looking at the academy. And when I say this, people will just go, it's because he hasn't got the transfer budget, right? And I
he
don't
built
think
a training complex for this reason.
Yeah, exactly. I think Klopp really wants youngsters to come through and make it a Liverpool Football Club. The talk at the moment about this number 6 position is that they don't want to stop the direction of Stefan Bajcetic getting into that position. They don't want to block his path. That's all we keep hearing at the moment. I do think Klopp's looking at it and thinking, looking at the future and thinking, I've got players here. I've got Kwanzaa's come through who just looks, we was after Colwill, in the summer. And I'm like, is Colwill putting up Kwanzaa performances right now?
It's difficult to say, though, because Kwanzaa's been playing against lower opposition for the most part.
I think Kwanzaa needs a few Premier League games, and I think he will after the new year when it gets a little bit less busy. But I think we can all tell there's definitely a talent there.
Yeah,
there's definitely a talent there. And Klopp said it in his press conference. He said people wanted us to buy a centre back, but I got Kwanzaa. It's just when we always go after the owners for everything, because this is what does my head in the football fans today. When you think about football in the past, you think of the great AC Milan teams, you think the great Barcelona teams, the Real Madrid teams, the Liverpool teams of the past, the Man United teams, the Ajax teams. You never think of any of their owners. What you think about is the managers that made them clubs. Look at the great Ajax sides. You always think about the great Ajax sides and what they had. Oh, it's the youth team they had at Ajax coming through. It was the quality managers they had there. Same with Milan, same with Barcelona, Real Madrid, the Man United. No one was really talking about Man United's owners when Ferguson was there because he was building the team to be where it is now. Although not now because of crap. But and you look at Liverpool and Klopp's the face of the football club. He's the one Klopp is, as much as I hate saying this, Klopp is a bit like Alex Ferguson, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Alex Ferguson was never a tactical genius as a manager. He was just the best manager who can make you run for a brick wall, make you feel like you're the best player in the world, even if you're not. And you believe that and you play like that. And I think that's what Klopp's like, and he believes in the youth. So when we keep on about owners all the time and who we should buy and who should not buy, you still get Liverpool fans still going on about Jude Bellingham. Look what we could have had and all that. It's just not. It's like I think we've got to look at it and think now. Klopp, I think, has got a pathway where he wants this club to go, a destination where he thinks this club can go, and he's got players at this club at the moment he thinks can achieve that. He's got some players he doesn't think he can, but he's got a youth team he's looking at thinking, I've got players there. They might not be today's guys, but they're tomorrow's guy. And if I've got a centre-back in Kwanzaa, who I think can be a 50, 60 million pound defender, do I need to go and buy a 56 million pound defender, or can I use that money then to go and buy a 50, 60 pound midfielder? Now, Gal, I don't see the issue with that because I think that's how football should be run. But in the world we live in today, it's a bit more difficult, ain't it? Because it's not just football; it's everything in the world, ain't it? It's everything's about financial means. Everything is.
Yeah, I agree. So I think this may be some of the nostalgia, though, Jay, because we're slightly older than the new generation of fans.
Yeah.
I see it from both sides. I think as a club, you have an obligation to match and better your opposition, but you have to do it in a smart way. And sometimes that's not matching what they do. It's being smarter than them. And I think when we were winning on a regular basis and winning trophies, we were just operating smarter than the others. The others were all outspending us. We were just being smarter. I think we partly got away from that, and again, not coming at Klopp, but it seems as though it went from let's have a discussion about who we should bring in, and then there's a vote to Klopp going, nah, that's who we're bringing in. If you don't like it, bounce. And I get it because he's been so successful with us and he's changed the fortunes of our club. He has. He's been the best thing that's happened to Liverpool probably in the last 50, well, probably not for.
Since Dalglish.
Yeah, in the last 30 years.
And Gerald Houllier as well, to his
Gerald Houllier and Rafa are great, but I'd still say Klopp is the best thing that's happened to Liverpool over the last 30 years.
Yeah.
And because he's got that credit in the bank, I think he's almost looked at transfers now as I'm going to do what I want to do as opposed to sometimes what's necessarily best for the team and best for the tactics. And I think that's where we've come a little bit unstuck. You look at his signings sort of since the Michael Edwards thing, and like we brought in Gakpo, like we still don't know where Gakpo's best position is. We brought in Nunes. For me, he's kicked on, but not how he should have. Brought in Endo. Again, bit of a weird signing. The Caicedo thing, he didn't really seem like he was that on board with Caicedo. He obviously probably rates the player, but didn't necessarily want to bid that amount and go for a player of that sort of value. I think Klopp's a romantic when it comes to football, and I think we're seeing that with some of his signings, some of the tactics, and the fact that some players who we believe to be like on the decline. Again, let's not forget, he wanted to keep Henderson. He wanted to keep Fabinho. Fabinho was going to be the main six this season, with Bashek being the backup. He wanted to keep Milner. So I think Klopp looks at football and I think he hates the side of transfers. I think he genuinely hates transfers. In his mind, I reckon he'd love it if football could be, you've got your academy, you've got the players that you brought to the club. Maybe you get 1 or 2 transfers a season, but the rest is what you've got and who you can bring through. Unfortunately, football isn't like that now. You've got your Man Cities, your United, your Chelseas, dare we say even your Arsenals. Aston Villa is spending crazy money. Like, you've got to do what you got to do.
You got your corrupt clubs.
Yeah. 115.
The thing is though, like, I can't wait for the Man City thing to finish because I think we can have a real chat then. If Man City get done by the Premier League and stuff like that, and they get done. I don't think they will because they're too written. Their lawyers are better than their lawyers, and they'll wiggle their way out of it like they will. But I think it's going to be, when some people go to court and they get classed not guilty, but we all know only because you've been told you're not guilty, you don't think you're not guilty. You know what I mean? It's that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I've always said
I've got a law degree. Like, a lot of people don't get put inside, and a lot of people do get put inside, and they shouldn't. Like, the law is a mess. Like, I've got a law degree, bro. There's a reason why I didn't want to do law when I finished it. It's a mess.
It's filthy.
It's a mess.
It's a filthy mess. But I just look at. I'm a bit romantic like that in football as well. I have to admit, I don't like. I do think the money in football is starting to turn people off the sport. I do. I've spoken to people who are just like getting a bit fed up with it. Like it's like you can only do something if you've got that much wealth, and everyone underneath them, you're never going to achieve what you want to achieve, because if you do go and buy a certain player or a certain thing, whatever it is, the person that's more wealthy than you will just look at that and capitalize and just go an extra step, and then you're always a step behind no matter how much you spend. It's so hard to catch up. So I like that. I understand the romantic side of it. I really do, from what Jurgen says. But I look at it and I think what I will give Jurgen credit for is the way he's taken one transfer window and got rid of a whole midfield and brought in a whole new midfield, and that's us playing on a high level. Yeah. So I will give him credit for that, because that shows the coach that he is. That shows he might not be a tactical genius like an Ancelotti or a Mourinho or anything like that, but you'd probably want to play for Klopp more because of the man he is and the manager he is, and 100%. what he gets out of you as a player. I mean, look what he got out of Jordan Henderson. Jordan Henderson shouldn't have been that good for his tactical ability. We
can say that about so many players. Like, who's left Liverpool under Klopp? Who's left Liverpool and really kicked on and gone to new heights?
No one. Mane left at the right time. I think that was a really
Emre Can. Look at Emre Can, bro.
Yeah. It's madness.
Bro,
It's
if
so
you
many
gave me
good.
the choice between playing for Klopp or any other manager, I am picking Klopp every single day of the week. I will run till my legs fall off for Jurgen Klopp. He's that guy.
Yeah. Oh, he'd probably tell Jamie, "You're the best midfielder I've got in the team. You know, run through a brick wall for me." I'll be like, Jurgen, I'm 4 stone overweight. Don't worry about that. That'll help you. You know, just go in there and do it. Just, you know, you'll go run through a team. I believe, you know, we're going to train you like this. We're going to get your stamina up. You know, you're going to be this for us. And yeah, I think Jurgen probably would get me playing. I reckon he would. I reckon Jurgen could. He's just one of them people that you could probably listen to, and it get you going in your career. I think. But all this transfer stuff, I hate it. I hate the summer. Look, as a content creator, I like doing it because it brings viewers into your channel and stuff like that. But as a fan, it drives me mad.
I'll be honest. I like it more as a fan. I hate speaking about transfers as a content creator.
Oh, I don't mind.
Yeah, I hate it because you have to give your opinion on players, and I think everyone sees things as so black and white. Like if I say right now, I think that player is good, but I don't think they're Liverpool standard. Bro, everyone goes off, and I'm like, there is grey area there. Like I rate the player, but I don't think they're Liverpool standard. Like I said that about James Ward-Prowse in the summer, and look, he's gone and to West Ham and been brilliant for them. But when I speak about James Ward-Prowse, for example, everyone will say, but what about his set pieces? I was like, how often is he going to start for Liverpool? We can't just do roll on, roll off subs. Like
it's not American football, yeah. Like, you can come on there.
Yeah, it's not five-a-side, but and like we have to remember the standard we are. We are, in my opinion, or when we were at our peak, we were top 3 teams in world football. That's where I want us to get back to. So certain players are never going to be able to reach that standard. Like it's the 1 percentile that is going to reach that standard. And that's the standard I want in the team. So that's why I hate talking about transfers as a content creator.
Yeah, it is a madness. My thing with it is that I just get so annoyed when people say, "Oh, we could have had this player, we could have had that player. If we had ambitious owners, we'd have had that player and that player." I'm like, do you know if the manager wanted that player and that player that you're talking about? I think
I used to be that person, Jay.
Yeah, but then you sort of like
I used to be that person.
I think the more you watch and the more you listen, the more you read and the more you understand, I think the more we work it out in time. I think that's what it is. And the more you grow in that, it's like with anything, football, life, whatever. The more you learn from stuff, the more you start to understand. And like with Jurgen, when you listen to him talk, no, I don't believe that. Like a lot of people believe that Jurgen just says things to protect people. I don't think Jurgen does. I think Jurgen's got an issue. He's got to say it, in my opinion, no matter who's it about. I think if he's got a problem with FSG, he's going to mention FSG. He's going to tell them. You know, I don't think he hides anything. And, you know, I think the only 2 players that Klopp really, really wanted that he didn't get were Jude Bellingham and Tchouaméni.
But that weren't the owner's fault.
I think that's it. I really think that's it. You know, when Real Madrid come calling, I don't care who you are. You know, unless you're a Liverpool fanboy, Real Madrid come calling, you're going to Real Madrid. It don't matter how big Liverpool are. It's Real Madrid are the pinnacle of football. You know, they are the pinnacle of football. And I think if you look at this summer, if I told you, Cal, this summer with our owners, we're going to sell our whole midfield and buy a new one in and be competing better than last season.
I would have laughed and be like, "You're crazy." I'd have been like, "That's never happened."
And look at the players getting in.
But I also will say, I think last summer was forced onto us. I do not think the plan was to get rid of Hendo and Fabinho in any way, shape, or form.
No, Saudis came in with stupid money and was like, yeah.
And we take it. We take it and we're grateful, but I don't think that was the plan. I think we had to react on the fly, which gives, for me, means Klopp deserves even more credit. And so did the coaching staff and so did the owners as well, because they had to react. They couldn't be proactive this time.
I think they wanted a couple of fresh faces in the midfield.
Yeah.
But then their hand was forced. And you've got to give them credit. In a short window, it's not a long time to go and look for players. They found the players they wanted, and it's just this DM position which we're talking about now because it takes us to Alexis Mac Allister. Now, right, I've titled this "Were We Wrong About Alexis Mac Allister?" Now we can take this two ways. We can take this two ways, right? Let's be nice there. You can take this two ways, saying the transfer was wrong and he weren't the player that should have joined Liverpool Football Club, or you can take it another way and say, is Alexis Mac Allister actually doing okay and doing the job that Jurgen Klopp wants him to do right now, which ain't his fault? What one do you want to go down, Cal?
Let's explore both, bro. Let's do should we have signed him?
Go on.
So, again, I don't think I made a secret of this when I was on Coppish and speaking about this. I may have even spoken about this on your channel as well. Mac Allister was never my first choice for a midfielder. I thought he was excellent, especially in the World Cup. He's brilliant in the World Cup. I think because he performed so well at the World Cup, I think people may have overrated him a little bit, but I still think he was a quality footballer. He still is a quality footballer, not was. He is a quality footballer. He wouldn't have been my first choice. But the moment I knew we were signing him, I was still over the moon because he's a quality footballer. I didn't like the Genie Wijnaldum comparisons because they're completely different footballers. Like, Genie was way more athletic, way more sort of tenacious in the tackle on the ball, and he wasn't as good a passer as Mac Allister. Mac Allister can break lines all day if you wanted to. For me, Mac Allister has probably he's got better vision, passing, more creativity. Probably difficult to say whether a better slight eye for goal, but for me, he's not like Wijnaldum. I think the plan was Fabinho or Henderson as the 6 or Bajcetic as the 6, Mac Allister, Jones or Thiago left centre midfield, Szoboszlai, Elliott right centre midfield, with Henderson also being able to cover right centre midfield. I think the plan was to get 2 centre midfielders this summer, and that was it. We lost Fabinho, we lost Hendo, we brought in Endo. When we brought in Endo, for me, it seemed as though Klopp was going to go Endo, Mac Allister, Szoboszlai when everyone's fit, or Jones or whoever. But I thought Endo, Bajcetic would be the 2 6s. However, it's been Mac Allister. And for me, I think he's almost been robbed of a great start to a Liverpool career, in my opinion. And I'm seeing even fans now being like, we shouldn't have bought him. We should even cash in on him in the summer. And I'm like, it's so hard to judge Mac Allister's start to life at Anfield because he's playing out of position. Like, imagine we signed Virgil van Dijk and we were playing him as a right back. Virgil wouldn't have thrived as a right back, and then a lot of the fan base would have been like,
don't know.
Yeah, maybe Virgil's a bad example, but he's not in his best position, and people turn around and say he plays as a 6 for Argentina. Playing as a lone 6 and playing in a pivot is 2 completely different things. Thiago played as a 6 at Bayern Munich. We'd never want him as a lone 6 at Liverpool. I say that. I wouldn't want that. Completely different.
I think Klopp was the way he's speaking about Thiago.
Yeah. So no to the first question, as in, were we wrong to sign him? But yes, we were wrong about Mac Allister because I don't think anyone expects him to be our number 6 for this season.
No, and look, I look at Mac Allister, the way we play, right? We play with a 3. That's the way we play. And sometimes Trent will invert and we make it like a cube 4, a square 4, yeah? But everyone's really central. We're very narrow in the midfield. The Klopp's already said that's the way we want to contain the possession in the midfield, be narrow, and use our wide forwards in the wide areas. It's the way he wants to play. So if we're playing in a 3, and we say, like the Genie comparison, as you said there, if everyone remembers a Genie was box to box, Henderson was box to box, Fabinho sat. And so when they needed to be defensive, Hendo and Genie would sit back with Fabinho. But on the break, them two would be looking to get into the wide areas of the pitch, trying to play in the channels in between Mo and Mane and getting in around that area. If that's the way Klopp still wants to play, then Mac Allister can't do that. Mac Allister ain't got the legs to play box to box. He can't be defensive for 1 minute and then attacking the next. You know, you look at Gravenberch. Gravenberch can. That's why I like Gravenberch there. You know, you see him, he can sit in that defensive area. He can travel with the ball. He can do 4 strides and he's in the opposite half.
Yeah.
You know, running past people. You know, he's got that long stride pattern and he can hold the ball doing it as well.
Yeah.
Mac Allister rather playing a double pivot. Look at his career. Argentina and Brighton. They're the two places we've seen him play the most. Yeah.
Yeah.
Always been in a double pivot.
Yeah.
Either playing along Casado. Casado's the DM, the destroyer. He sits back a little bit more because he sits back. Then Mac Allister can advance from his position just a little bit and play from that position. He can play give and goes. He can link the play. Can control the tempo. He can run off another. You know, he can run off one of the opposition midfielders into a dangerous area, knowing that Casado's sitting there. You know, he's not going into wide areas and stuff like that. And so, from that point of view, unless we play a double pivot, I don't know anywhere else that Mac Allister can play for Liverpool right now, apart from the 6, unless we change the way we're going to play in midfield and we go into that sort of double pivot with a Mac Allister and an out-and-out 6. Would be like we'll talk about him in a minute. Douglas Luiz. If Liverpool did get Douglas Luiz, you have Douglas Luiz and Mac Allister sitting in that double pivot, and you got Szoboszlai in front, and then Mac Allister can play off Douglas Luiz. You'll get much better.
I know it's after 9 p.m, Jamie, but careful, bro.
It's 30, yeah.
Careful.
But maybe that's the way. Maybe that's the way Klopp's thinking. Because let's look at Thiago. Thiago came to Liverpool. We all loved it. It's like the first world-class player we've really bought. Like that, instead of making them world-class, we bought ready-made. You know, we've instead of going to IKEA, you know, we've gone to a more expensive furniture shop where it's already built. You know, that's what we've done. And straight away we play him in a midfield 3 where he's got to run. He's got to run.
No, first remember he's playing as a 6 when Fab was going into defence and all that.
And then you're playing him as a 3 as well. We're running, and he says, "Klopp showed me how to run because I've never had to run my whole career because I'm cultured, and I just sit." And Mac Allister, who's a cultured midfielder as well, who hasn't got the legs like Thiago, and you go ask him to do this box to box stuff. So I think Klopp's looked at it and thought, at this moment in time, his best position for me at this football club is in this 6th position. Because of the way we're playing, especially when Trent inverts. If Trent inverts, that allows Mac Allister just advance a little bit because Trent will sit there on the halfway line. That will allow Mac Allister to advance a little bit and get involved in more of the play with Szoboszlai and the strikers. But I don't know. I don't know. I've always said it. I've been saying it for a while now. Gravenberch, pound for pound, will be Liverpool's best transfer business we've done in years to come, in my opinion. Even outshining Szoboszlai. I think if we get a DM, Gravenberch is the closest thing I think we'd had to Genie in that time. Because Genie can travel with the ball. I think everyone forgets that. Genie's very good at traveling with the ball. You know, Genie didn't do nothing sexy, you know. Yeah, he didn't do what he done, he might have kept it simple. He might have ran with the ball a little bit and things like that. But my God, defensively, Rock couldn't get past him.
Genie was
protection
so
of the his protection of the football is excellent, and that's why I think Curtis Jones plays out there at the moment because he protects the ball. He might not be technically as gifted as Gravenberch, but I think that's why Curtis Jones plays. But yeah, I think it's a whole system set up at the moment at the football club where we're still experimenting, and we're going to be experimenting this whole season into next season for me. But I do believe, Cal, next season, Liverpool have got the potential to do something really special next season. So they've got to get this, if they can get this DM right with the players we've got around there, it's going to be special. But this season, I think for the whole season, Mac Allister's going to be our 6th, and we see how we go from there.
I disagree with one thing there, Joe, and maybe I'm on a bit of a hype, and it's fine margins. I think we could experience a special season this season.
I mean, I think something will happen. I think we'll win the Europa League personally.
But I think for that to happen, I think we do need to sign a couple players in Jan. But I don't know.
I think we will.
I don't, you know.
Do I think we might sign players in January, just not for the positions everyone thinks we need.
Maybe, but here's the thing. You mentioned Douglas Luiz, and again, I rate Douglas Luiz. I would argue he's not an out-and-out 6, but what I will say, he's a Klopp 6 to me.
Yeah, Andre, him.
He seems like a Klopp 6 because he's Mac Allister, but more tenacious in the tackle, more athletic. You put him in the 6, he's not better than a Declan Rice, he's not better than a Rodri in that position. But for what we need our 6 to do, he might be more effective than they would have potentially been. And I think that's what we as fans, and I'm so guilty of it myself, that's sometimes what we as fans need to get our head around. Like, we may not have the quote-unquote best player in the position or the name player, but the player who does the best job for what we need is more important. Like, I remember having debates with like Man United, Arsenal fans, Chelsea fans, and they were like, so you're not swapping Henderson for anyone but De Bruyne? And I was like, no, because you take Henderson out of the team and we don't compete how we compete because he just knows the system. And for what we're trying to do, he works perfect. Same with Gini. We weren't swapping Gini with anyone.
No.
But where I think Klopp's got to be less rigid is if you have a player like Thiago who's cultured, you have a player like Mac Allister who's cultured, don't be rigid in your approach. Play the game to suit them. And I think we saw that when Thiago was playing, obviously he got used to the system and stuff, but we played different when Thiago played. It was more of a transitional pivot. It was still 4-3-3, but we took up pivot positions way more than we did when he didn't play. And I think that, for me, bro, the pivot is the key to this team. We've actually got players to play the pivot now. We've got a dynamic... I think we've got 2 or 3 10s in the team. I'd argue Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, and Elliott are 10s. For the double pivot, I've got Trent, Mac Allister, Endo, Bišetic, Jones, like Thiago, if he's fit. Right backs, we've got Joe Gomez, Conor Bradley. With left backs, we've got Robbo Tsimikas. Centre backs, we've got Virgil, Konate, Matip, Kwanzaa. Left wing, we've got Diaz and Gakpo. Right wing, we've got Salah. And we've got Jota and Nunes. Like the pivot.
That's a heck of a squad.
The squad's healthy, but the pivot's right there in his face. It's weird as well because at Dortmund that was his formation. The pivot was his formation. And at Mainz. And I'll say this on record: if we go to a pivot and Nunes is our starting number 9, Nunes becomes a new beast in my opinion, because he'll have someone to foil. He'll have someone who's running behind him. So he may still not be the quote-unquote greatest striker in the world, but he'll get more goals because there'll be someone else behind him creating havoc as well.
Szoboszlai linking with Darwin. And then Szoboszlai linking with Darwin, Salah linking with Darwin, Luis Diaz. You got that pivot. You got like a 4-man. And then you got 2. And then you got 2 controllers behind him.
Careful, Jamie. I'm going to get rid of this Kleenex before this.
That would be that. I just, you are right. It is staring Klopp in the face, and I think the reason he doesn't do it is because Trent's inverting. And I think if you gave this question to Jurgen, right, I think Jurgen would turn around and go, "I do a double pivot because Trent inverts." That'll be his answer. Guarantee it. That'll be his answer to it. Because Trent inverts, so I've got my double pivot. I've got Trent and Mac Allister there, and then, I've got Szoboszlai. I can get further forward, and I'm like, I can get what he's saying, but it's not. Trent then still has to go into a right back defensively, so then you haven't got a double pivot defensively. You got a double pivot attacking, but in defensive moments you've got a 3.
All right, I agree. I hear you. I see football positions a bit like a restaurant, bro. You wouldn't have Gordon Ramsay cooking the food and then waiting on tables, would you?
No. Have you seen his face?
But what would happen is the level of his cooking would go down. His productivity of cooking would go down. That for me is what's happening with Trent. He's playing inverted and he's actually getting less assists than he was when he was a generic traditional right back, because he's been asked to do 2 jobs and he's been doing it well. But imagine you just say to Trent, you see that defending you do at right back? you don't have to do that anymore. You can just be a midfielder. Like, can you imagine? Because I can. And it just makes me happy, bro. Like, Trent for me now is a midfielder. The amount of times he's come out and said he sees himself as a midfielder. He studies tapes on midfielders. That's a midfielder talking.
He plays like one right back.
He's always played like one. It's just now he just wants to be one.
Do you know what, Cal? And when I saw him coming on yesterday when he was standing on the sideline ready to come on, I didn't realise how big Trent was.
Yeah, he's a unit now.
Trent's a unit all of a sudden.
Yeah.
He's like he's built himself up to be a midfielder.
Yeah.
A robust midfielder.
He's not a 19-year-old anymore.
No, he's put on weight. He's got size now. He's got height. He's got to be 6 foot easy. And
I reckon maybe about 5'10", 5'11".
Yeah, but he's a good height for a midfielder. He's got good size for a midfielder as well. Now, so's Curtis Jones. I was surprised how big Curtis Jones was as well, actually.
Yeah, Curtis about 6 foot.
Yeah, he's a unit as well. And then you've got little Harvey.
Yeah. Harvey's not going to get much taller, bless him.
No, I keep saying of Harvey, I think he's got all the tools. He's just not got genetics on his side. What was that? But
as a 10, neither did David Silva.
Oh, I'm going to talk about Harvey in one set because I think he impresses me, Harvey. I ain't going to lie. But with Trent, when I look at him, I think if you played in midfield and you didn't have, because his interceptions, you know, I didn't realise this, but as a right back, he's one of the highest of interceptions in Europe.
Yes, he reads the game.
He's reading the game is very good in front of him. Yeah. So if you put him in midfield, what Trent's problem is he's reading the game. He's very good when the game's in front of him. It's when it goes behind him. That's when he's not got that defensive nous. But in front of him, when the game's in front of him, he's got very good reading the game. So he knows to get into a position. So if he's got that reading of the game when the game's in front of him, you put him in midfield. Then with his technical ability, and now as we said, he's got the size, he's got the strength. I don't really see Trent getting knocked off the ball a lot.
No, very.
You know, and he can hold his own. So I mean, do you think any other manager but you, if Pep Guardiola, right, let's put it this way, Klopp and Pep are the two best in the country, yeah? If Pep was in charge of Trent, where would Pep play him?
Honestly, knowing Pep, bro, he's probably playing like an inverted left winger or something. Knowing Pep, Pep's crazy. If there's any manager who's more crazy than Klopp, is Pep. I think we would have seen, especially. All right, are we talking about Man City still with Kyle Walker?
Yeah.
Then he's playing in Trent in midfield. Trent and De Bruyne are rotating in midfield.
Yeah.
Or he goes Rodri and Trent in a double pivot and De Bruyne is an out-and-out 10. Or Bernardo Silva is an out-and-out.
You know how he sees Lewis playing in midfield? You know, like, so Pep's brought in that Lewis kid who's a right back by nature. So this is a comparison we can do. So Lewis is it Lewis, the right back from City? He's a right back by nature. Rico Lewis. And he's made him almost a midfielder now. And we've seen him in games playing alongside Rodri because, as Pep says, he's extremely good on the ball.
Yeah,
right?
He is.
So he thinks, because he's so good on the ball, his better position would be for me in midfield. Because if you look at City's fullbacks don't really do what Liverpool's fullbacks used to do. They weren't up and down. You know, you look at, they had Mendy at one time at left back and he didn't really play much because, you know, he liked to get up and down, but he didn't need him to do that because he had Sane on that side of the pitch.
Yeah. Well, he got injured. He got a lot of injuries as well, Mendy, innit?
He got a lot of injuries as well, but there was that he didn't really need that overlapping. You know, they do more of their work on the inside, don't they? They don't really overlap as much. So maybe that's saying we're seeing the future. I mean, Trent still is such a young man. It's just that we can see the qualities, but at the same time as well, look, this season's going really well at the moment. We took a point away at City. You know, we lost one game this season at Tottenham, and that was a game we probably, you know, VAR won that game, let's face it.
Yeah.
You know, Diaz scored a goal. I think Liverpool win that game comfortably, in my opinion.
Yeah, I do as well.
But Diaz goal is counted. And you're looking at an unbeaten start to the season coming up to Christmas with a brand new midfield. So we can always talk about because we're fans and we want things differently sometimes, the way the manager wants. But at this moment in time, he's probably getting it right. So we'll leave it be for a minute. But big up to everyone in chat. Guys, don't forget to go and smash that like button if you've not hit that like already. Big up the pimp in the chat. What's up, lads? Rival partnership. Big up, pimp, my man. Big up, pimp. Couple of super chats. Big up, Aaron. He says, big up, Jay and Callum. Thoughts on the Saudi league failing? Yeah, there's been a lot of talk that they're
I've not
happy.
really kept up with it. I don't really know what's going on.
Apparently, they're not happy over there. They're not getting what they thought they'd be getting.
The way money-wise?
Well, the games are not being watched. There's no revenue coming in from games at the moment, and then they're paying that big money on these stars to go over there and play, ain't they? So
I'm surprised they didn't get a UK TV deal. I really am surprised.
Yeah, it won't be long till they'll be in the Champions League anyway. So
I mean, Jay, I don't know about you, bro, but I mean, I'm hearing third tier of Saudi league is about $5,000 a week. I mean, if you're up for it, I'll do it, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand why players go there.
Yeah,
but the thing is, Saudi, I don't think Saudi need to worry about revenue when there's such, they got just money that is just ungodly money that you could never count. I don't think
I'd play third tier for $5,000 a week, bro. I'd do it for you.
But yeah, I mean, you got stars over there fighting, and people like Gillingham and that are getting more in attendances. It's not working out. But it happened in China as well with their Super League, didn't it? And but that was government owned. This is different, ain't it? This is the whole country with just money that you can't count. Now, big up Aaron as well with another super chat. It says now Jota is out. Thoughts on playing Szoboszlai as a forward in some games and using Trent in midfield. Cal?
I think that will happen when Salah goes AFCON.
I think as well. I think Szoboszlai will go right wing for them 3 or 4 games. Trent will go into midfield and Joe Gomez at right back. I think we get through them games as well with that. I don't think they're the hardest fixtures either. And Aaron says, a question for Jamie and Callum. Do you think Thiago has fallen out with Klopp? I could be wrong, but something seems off.
Nah, he's just injured.
I think what Klopp is annoyed with is how long it takes Thiago to recover. I think because he got a bit like that with Sturridge, didn't he?
Yeah,
he got a bit like that with Sturridge.
I think with Sturridge, it was. I love Sturridge, so I hate even saying this, but I feel as though Sturridge sometimes didn't want to play through the pain barrier. Like if Sturridge felt a little bit of pain, he'd be like, whereas Klopp wants warriors. Let's call it what it is. He wants warriors, and he wants you to be like, I'm injured, but I'll still play. Like, wasn't Henderson playing with like foot injections and all that? And that's when we had Ox and Naby in reserve still. So like Klopp likes his warriors, and I think Thiago is a warrior. I think it's just injuries and the fact that unfortunately they plagued his career. We brought him to Liverpool when at Bayern Munich he'd settled into his physique, he'd settled into his body. He was in a system that protected his physical deficiencies, and he came to Liverpool in the fast-paced league during the pandemic, got taken out by Richarlison, and then got made to run like Mo Farah every game by Jurgen Klopp when his body wasn't used to it. Like, let's be real, Jay. If someone said to him, if David Goggins knocked on our door right now, Jay, and said, right, for the next 3 days, you're running 10 miles a day, our body's going to break down as well because the body's not used to it.
No, man. And his age as well for his career.
Yeah.
Cultured midfielder, man. It's asking. That's like Liverpool buying Pilo and making him run.
That'd be crazy, isn't it?
When he's a cultured midfielder who sits there and controls and orchestrates. He's the lead orchestra, ain't he? He's the lead of the orchestra. He tells them where to go, what tune next, who go next, wind instrument, trumpet, all that sort of thing. That's what these players are. And then we're going, right, now you're athletes. And they're like, what?
Yeah. No, it shouldn't be. It's just not necessary. We didn't have to do it.
No, and I think Thiago's hips bothered him for a long time.
Yeah,
and I think we put off having surgery last year as well, and we tried to work through it.
Yeah,
and now it's caught him up. I'm hoping Thiago comes back from this and he's injury free, because an injury free Thiago who never, who stays fit again. You got to have conversations about a contract extension.
Yeah, I'll be honest. The injury-free Thiago is going to really mess with my emotions, bro.
Because an injury-free Thiago takes Mac Allister's spot in his team for me.
Yeah,
as the sixth. I think he's a bit. I think Thiago is the sixth Klopp wants. If Thiago is fit, I think Thiago plays there.
Here's the thing:
really
Thiago's like being in a relationship with the love of your life, but a long distance relationship. It's easy to break up with her when she's the other side of the world, but when she's in the house with you and she's everything you want in a woman, like you're not going to break up. Hence why I can sit here right now and say, yeah, I wouldn't renew Thiago's contract because he's been out injured. All I need to see is one little turn from him in a pass, like a no-look pass. I'm going to be like, yeah, where's the contract? Let's sign it. I'm a sucker for it.
Yeah. That's the thing with these players that are quality. That's the problem. But yeah, I think he signs a new deal. I actually do think he'll sign a new deal.
What about Matip?
I think Matip should sign a new deal as well. I've had my conversation. Right, I don't know if you saw this the other day, Cal, but I had this chat the other day, and I got abuse in my own chat from my own people here. They came at me. I love them all, but I was saying my concern with Konate right now is that for me, he should have put his place down as Virgil's main partner by now. This is his third season, and he should, for me, cemented his place as Virgil's main partner. It's them two. And Matip should be the one playing Europa League games.
Why? So why were people upset with that?
Ask the people.
I think that's a fair statement.
I just feel like I think Konate is a wonderful player, but he isn't a better defender than Matip. And I don't know if Klopp has his full trust. I don't know if Klopp completely and utterly trusts Konate at this moment in time.
I think he does, but I think Konate is out of form at the moment. Like, he doesn't look great.
His injuries are an issue as well.
But the injury is an issue because in the same way Thiago is being forced to play as a left centre midfielder. I mean, Konate at RB Leipzig wasn't being forced to cover centre back and right back because of the inverted system. Like, we have to ask these questions. Are you putting too much toll on the body?
But how can Matip do the inverted system better as a centre back than Konate?
Because I don't think we're as risky when Matip does when we play with Matip as the inverted centre back.
Or are we just as risky, but Matip is just a better defender, so it looks better?
It could be a bit of both. Matip reads the game better and he's more controlled in his approach than Konate. Konate is more of a battering ram.
He knows when to step forward.
Yeah.
Konate reminds me of Lovren. I've always said it. Konate.
He's a better version of Lovren.
Yeah, where Lovren used to battle the striker instead of winning the ball. Sometimes Konate, I think, is sometimes a bit like that. And I think Konate jumps out of position too early at times as well. Where Matip, he knows when to come out and when not to.
Yeah,
but I love Konate. I don't want him going nowhere. Like, I don't want him sold or anything like that. I just feel like I can understand if Matip gets a new deal because I don't think he's finished. I don't think he's on the downturn.
If Matip gets a 1-year extension, would you still look to sign a centre back, or are you good?
I would. Yeah. No, I would. I would still go and get a centre back because Matip can't stay forever, and you don't want to react too late. You should be looking forward in the future. So I think you've got to look at Quanta as having a long-term outlook at Liverpool Football Club. He's playing more games than I think Quanta ever realised he thought he would. Klopp looks like he absolutely loves him. He's always in match day squads. I think he's got a bright future as one of the youngsters. Virgil, I think he's got a couple more years left in him at easy. Same with Matip. I don't think Matip's that kind of defender where, he relies on certain things like Konate relies on. Konate's got that athleticism, pace and strength. Matip don't need to rely on that because he's just got that defensive brain. And as long as that's working, I don't think age matters so much because I think we get too caught up in age at times as football fans.
We do.
But because you can have a young player who plays really well and then at 24 they just finished.
Yeah.
And
Mike Lowe.
Look at that. Yeah, look at Mike and look at Mo. Mo's 31, 32, and he's getting better and better as a professional footballer. So I don't think age matters as long as you look after yourself and you've got your minds and you're reading the game. So
And
yeah,
luck with
Matip.
injuries as well. Luck
Yeah,
with injuries as
look,
well.
and I don't think Matip's that bad with injuries. I think
Not
it's a
now.
bit
He's
of a.
not. I think
It's like
Klopp's
he's got
done well
over.
managing his minutes now.
Yeah, it's like he's got over it. It's like
Mm.
he looks better. Maybe he's not training him as hard as he used to.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe he's having less time on the training pitch. But no, I'll give Matip a new deal, but I'd still look for a centre back. I think we should be looking for a young centre back that's going to come in, knows his role in this team, and in the years to come, him and Kanate and Kwanzaa are going to be the three. You know, in the years to come, because Joe Gomez is still 26.
Yeah.
You know, he's got a long deal. Give Matip a new deal. It gives you that consistency while you're still building this Klopp 2.0 team. In my opinion, you need that.
Yeah,
you need that.
completely agree.
So Douglas Luiz, 80 million. Yeah, no.
80.
That's what Villa want. That's what Villa want.
I didn't know that was the price.
That's what Villa want. And look, do you blame Villa asking for that?
No, and he signed a new contract recently as well. So
yeah, exactly. Could have got him free 18 months ago.
And Villa aren't. They're not poor. They're actually rich. If I'm not mistaken, their owners are richer than ours.
They got the third richest owners in the Premier League.
Yeah, like Villa are very, very wealthy. Douglas, would I have Douglas Luiz at Liverpool? Absolutely. Do I think we'll get him? Absolutely not.
I don't think anyone gets him this January.
Not
because
January,
of the
no.
I think you got to look for the summer. What I would do what Real Madrid do. I'd get in his ear. I'd be an arsehole about it. You know the way Real Madrid do? When they want a player, they just get in that player's ear constantly, don't they? And they finally get the price down to where they want it and they buy him. If Liverpool want him so badly and they see him as the six that Klopp wants in that midfield, start talking to him. You know, go, all right, do you want to come in? Do you want to come into this team? You know, if you want to come in, you know, we really want you here, but, you know, your team's going to kick up a fuss, you know. And people might think that sounds a bit hardcore, Jamie, but I actually think that's what goes on behind the scenes. I think that goes
of course it does.
I would like him. It was someone I was talking about over a year ago. I think it's when he was on his contract came to an end about a year ago, and he could have been a free.
Arsenal really wanted him.
Yeah, I was like, he'd be a decent player, you know, in our midfield. He's got all the attributes, plus he's homegrown. Because he was a Man City
I
player.
thought he was homegrown. I don't actually know if he is. I've been so guilty about saying this, but I don't know if he is actually homegrown.
Well, when did he go to City? What age was he at City?
Let me Google it.
Because that will tell us. Because he came through their youth system, didn't he? And they sold him on. Tapping up, Josh. That's the one, man. Tapping up.
He's 25 now. Let me go.
Big up, Top FC TV says, big up, Jamie and Coppish. Big up, man.
Big up, bro.
You, my friends.
All right. So if he's 25 now.
They've had a good 3 years, ain't they?
Yeah. Signed his last contract 2022. So he's at Man City 17, 18.
So he will be homegrown, won't he?
17, 18. So what are we, 2023? So that was 6 years ago. He would have been 19. Oh, I don't know if he is homegrown.
He might have been a year out. I'm not sure.
A year out, it seems.
It might have been a year out. It's interesting. I know he's Brazilian, but because he came through the youth system at an English club one. But it's an interesting one. I don't think. I've said it for a while now. I don't think Liverpool buy DM in January.
I don't either.
I'm going to say this right now. I think Liverpool buy a forward in January.
A forward?
Yeah. I think Liverpool really. There's a certain Dutch forward I think Klopp really loves, and Liverpool are really interested in.
Who's that?
Is it Marlin or whatever his name is? Is that it?
What, the Borussia Dortmund one?
Yeah.
Marlin.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Apparently Liverpool are very interested in him and been watching him for a while.
Screams of Pep Linders.
And Klopp rates him.
He screams of Pep Linders, I'll be honest.
I'm starting to think now, Jota getting this injury I know he's back in the new year, but I do think one of the forwards are going to leave in the summer.
I do. I think Jota's going to leave in the summer.
So I think they're looking to get another speedster in. Look, Klopp likes quick wingers. We know he does.
I don't think Marlon's that guy, though. I've got to be honest.
I don't personally. Look, I'm not saying I rate him or anything. I'm just what I've been reading. The club as K-Mac. It's Linda's FC Cal.
Yeah, big up K-Mac. Big up K-Mac.
Yeah, big up my man
Big
K-Mac.
up
Big up Drew as well. Been a while, Drew. Been a while.
I'll be honest. I think if we're gonna get a forward, it's got to be someone a left-footed right winger or someone you can play left wing and right wing. It's Kubo. Kubo's right there at Sociedad.
Yeah,
like, he's ready to take the step up now. You got Endo here already, who's his teammate.
Japan have got some mental wingers.
Bro, I'll be honest. Kubo and look, Kubo and Salah or Kubo and Diaz. He plays right and left. He's what 22 and he's so good. Technically so good. Like whoever gets a hold of that kid is in with a real gem.
I think City are looking at him, ain't they?
Oh crap!
I think City are looking at him, but
just my luck.
Because I think they feel like they can get him cheaper than if he went to Brighton to try and get thingies. Because like Brighton will go after 100 million from Matoma probably.
Yeah, and they should.
And go to Borussia Mönchengladbach. Is it Mönchengladbach he plays for?
Who, Kubo?
Yeah.
No, Sociedad.
Sociedad, that's it. Real Sociedad. Who's the Germany I'm thinking of? I don't know. Come back to me a minute. But but Liverpool apparently really interested in Marnie. I personally, I don't think he's quite good enough, but I just got this feeling Liverpool go buy an attacker in the winter.
I can't see it. I'd be so shocked.
I just got this feeling where I think they're looking at it and thinking Gakpo's versatile. Gakpo can play, he's left wing by nature, but I don't think he's played 5 minutes there for Liverpool. But he can play. He can play left wing. He can play the number 9, or as me and Cal always said, he can play the number 8 position. And
imagine,
that's happened quite a lot.
Yeah.
And I think Klopp sees him as his versatile player that can play numerous positions and won't let him down. Jota keeps getting injuries. I think Klopp, we're yet to see the best of Luis Diaz, but I'm hoping that's coming.
Yeah.
The more games he plays and stays fit, I think he'll be a superstar.
Yeah, same.
And then you got Mo and so I think if one leaves, I think he might be looking for that because we want to play in transition. If we're playing on, you want quick attackers, so that might be why they're looking at him. And he's probably only
I don't think Gakpo's. I think when Gakpo gets into his stride, he's quite quick, but he hasn't got that.
He's quick on his stride. He ain't got.
He hasn't got that takeoff, that acceleration like Mane and Salah and like you'd say Nunes as well. They haven't got that. He hasn't got that real fast twitch in him. But once he gets going, it's very hard to keep up and catch him. I'd be so shocked if we signed an attacker.
I've just got this weird. Last January, we were meant to get a midfielder and we got Gakpo. Yeah, I mean, I'm just like K-Mac said, Polina. K-Mac did a video on Polina. I think we should get him, but it's just not. He's not the 6 Klopp wants.
I was going to say
he's the 6 we want, but he's not the 6 Klopp wants. It just ain't go happen. Harvey Elliott, Cal. Harvey Elliott, a player that again, no one knows like his position. He's more of an attacking minded midfielder or he could play on the right hand side of a midfield, probably in a 4-4-2. I think he could play right mid. Where I don't know what you do with him because his performances this season, either coming off the bench or starting in Europa, have been at a pretty good standing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But can't start Harvey for me in midfield in the Premier League because, again, his genetics, I think, just let him down. But his footballing brain and his technical ability, I think are really up there, Cal. I really do.
I think Harvey is suited to playing in the centre, but not deep. He for me, the closer Harvey is to the goal, the better. I know I've harped on about it. As a 10, I think he could really dictate play. I don't think he'll ever be a crazy assist assister. I think Harvey could potentially be the assist before the assister if you played in that number 10 position.
Yeah,
I think I look at Szoboszlai for me would be a creative and goal scoring 10. If Gravenberch played as a 10, I think Gravenberch would be a goal scoring 10. If Elliott played there, I think he'd be a creative 10. But then I'm going to throw a spanner in the works. If you're playing a 10, isn't a certain Fabio Carvalho, isn't that his position?
He ain't even getting games to Leipzig, though, is he?
Yeah, I know. He ain't coming back, is he? Not after how he acted as well.
He's not even getting games to... What do we do with Carvalho? Should Liverpool call him back? Because he's not getting game time.
I don't think he wants to come back. I think him and Klopp have to have a sit-down conversation. And even though he's young, he has to have a mature conversation with himself and a mature conversation with Klopp. I don't think he'll play for Liverpool.
No.
Not while Klopp's here.
It's a weird signing, wasn't it? Because...
But that's what I mean. We've had some weird signings.
We don't
exactly. Which lets me feel like is Klopp just kind of go over emotion when it comes to signing and going, that player's good, I'll bring him in and find a way of making him work for Liverpool, as opposed to that player's good but it doesn't really suit our style. Let's go and get this player who might not be pretty on the eye but is going to suit our style more.
Yeah, it's just I agree. Look, I like Harv. I think Harvey Elliott puts in good performances. I think he's a perfect squad player for the club. I think in coming on in games of 20 minutes to go, 30 minutes to go, against tired legs where he gets more space, I think that's where he performs at his best for me. I think it works for him. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think every player should be a starter at times, not in the way football is today.
No, he can't.
I think
there's too many games.
I think you can have 30-minute, 40-minute footballers that come on and do a job for your club. I really do. But I like Harv. I think he's doing some good work at the moment. And I know he gets people come at him. I don't know why. I don't know what they want him to do. Not every midfielder is going to be an assist and goal scoring midfielder.
Yeah.
They're just not.
The way our midfield plays, they're not set up to get goals and assists like that.
Built like that. No, exactly.
Our midfield isn't set up to get goals and assists.
No, definitely not. Got a big game tomorrow, man. Sunday, actually. Sunday. Home to Fulham. We've got a pretty good fixture list coming up. We've got Fulham. Then we've got midweek. We've got Sheffield United at 7:30. And then the Premier League decided to give Liverpool another 12:30 kickoff against Palace the following weekend. Because, why not? Might as well kick us all down. No, Alisson. Kelleher for all them games. You comfortable with it?
Yeah, I am. Kelleher's no Alisson, but then I ask who is. So when you've got the best player in the world in the position, anyone else is going to be a drop down. Now, granted, if we had a fit Courtois on the bench, then it's different to having a fit Kelleher. But Courtois and Alisson, they're never going to be in the same team at the same time together.
No,
I'm comfortable with Kelleher. Like, what I think we have to do as fans, though, is accept we're not going to see Alisson-esque saves from Kelleher. Like, he'll be a solid goalkeeper for us, but he might not be the goalkeeper that wins us points. Because, again, let's keep it real. Alisson's won us points this season, and he will continue to win us points when he comes back from injury. I just think it's a more a case of us changing our expectations a bit, and the team being better defensively to protect him as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think these games, if Alisson was going to get an injury, God forbid, I suppose these games coming up, sort of the best time for it maybe to happen. But
a Fulham game's tough though, Jay. That's a tough.
It's going to be tough because Polinia's first game back as well, ain't it? After suspension. Fulham are not the Fulham of the last season. They're struggling, but at Anfield, I just expect us to win at Anfield. It's a bit like City at the Etihad. I think the Etihad and Anfield are the hardest places to go at the moment for away teams. And
you got to throw the Emirates in there as well. I hate to say, I think
yeah, the Emirates are doing well. Emirates are doing well, but Newcastle beating there, so just. But no, they're the three teams. But no, I'm looking forward to this game. It's just who do you see playing in this? Who do you see playing up front? What's your front three for this game? Because we saw Diaz and Gakpo start. Salah started midweek as well. I think we could just all say now Salah is playing. Would you go the same front three that won yesterday, or would you bring Darwin back into it?
What would I do, or what do I think Klopp's going to do?
Yeah, what would you do?
I'd play Diaz left wing, and I'd probably go Nunes through the middle.
Yeah, because
it's a tough one because Nunes for me is more impactful off the bench than Gakpo. But even though Gakpo got 2 good goals, I think Nunes has had a better season than Gakpo so far.
Yeah.
And I think he warrants starting this game as a 9. So that's the front three I would go for. I also think it's the front three Klopp starts as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think we just got to win this game because Arsenal, I think, played before us and they got Wolves, I believe. Yeah. City got Tottenham at home. If it was away, I might be thinking, Tottenham could get a result there. But
with their place at the moment as well.
With Tottenham's injury list and the way they play, I think it's just helped City. I think City win massively, actually. So it's a big game for Liverpool to just make sure they keep in touch. And then we're away to the worst team in the Premier League. That means it's a draw. And then we've obviously got the Palace game. We've got handy games coming up. I just feel like we need to win all 3, Cal. I don't think.
We absolutely do. If we're going to keep pace, we absolutely have to because I don't see Arsenal and City dropping points either.
No, exactly, because of the games they got. So we need to keep the pace, especially playing on these Sundays games after. Important game for Mo Salah. Scores. It'll be his 200th game for Liverpool. What more can he do, man? What more can this special
underrated? So underrated.
I still don't think he gets the flowers he deserves. It's mental.
I had full-blown arguments with people in the summer saying, you cash in on him because he's 31 now. I was like, all right, cool. He's 31. When he takes off his top and starts running, does he look like a 31-year-old?
No, he don't, does
he? Like, he's the guy. He is him.
Yeah,
and even then, I still don't think he's having an amazing season, but look what he's still doing.
Yeah, he's not. I don't think he's performing at the absolute best he can. No, I think Salah is working his way through the season, so he don't tire himself out and come good towards the end. And he's still hitting goals and assists and being creative. He's now got that, that outside of the boot cross that he does so well perfected now. Yeah, he's just. I don't think we're going to realise how good Mo's gone till he leaves.
Yeah.
I think that's when we realise how good Mo Salah is.
Like with Genie.
Yeah. We were saying with Genie, weren't we? We're exactly like people didn't realise Genie's game. Even me to some extent, I didn't realise it. And it's only when you leave and you're like, see what Genie brought to that midfield now.
Yeah.
Same with, look, Hendo to away. We don't miss Hendo because of the way he left. And, it's just.
He was on the decline. He's visibly on the decline.
Yeah, the Hendo thing's just a bit sad for me. It really is because I don't think any of us really rated him as a footballer like that, but we rated him as a person.
Yeah.
And what he did for the football club. He literally put his life on the line for this football club and did everything he was told to do. And he performed at a high level as well without the ability. This is what I always say about some players today. I always say about people like Paul Pogba and stuff like that. Jordan Henderson was outperforming Paul Pogba when Paul Pogba was at Man United.
Yeah.
In my opinion. But Paul Pogba is 100 times the footballer Jordan Henderson is. And it's all because it's about mentality for me, football. I think 50% can be your technical ability, but if you haven't got the mentality to go with it, do you think Messi and Ronaldo got where they were just on technical ability?
I say this all the time, and
mental ability as
it's
well.
why I say what I say about Neymar. I'm like, Neymar could have and should have been maybe the best of all time, but he didn't have that drive. He didn't have that drive. Like, give me a play. Like, talent can only take you so far in any aspect of life. But when you have the talent and you match it with work rate, no one's touching you. Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather. Perfect example. Yeah. You may not like him as a person. I don't. No. But he had natural God-given talent and he outworked everyone else in the room.
Mentality is just, that's the thing.
Through the roof.
If you've got world-class mentality to go with your world-class technical ability,
how do you beat that?
So Hazard, I would say Hazard is in that line as well.
Yeah, he is.
I think Hazard had technical ability as high as anyone else I've ever seen, but mentally, it didn't match up with his technical ability. Same with Neymar.
Adulterat.
Yeah, technically quality football. Morrison. Charisma. Morrison. These players, technically on the streets, can't talk to him.
Alex Ferguson said Ravel Morrison's the most talented footballer he's ever had managed. Think of the players Fergie's worked with. He's the one who's the most talented.
I think Paul Scholes even said it, didn't he? Like, he just didn't have it up here.
Yeah.
He didn't. Mental, ain't it? Like, Neymar, Messi ain't having his sister's birthday off every year, is he? You know what I'm saying? He ain't patting her on the arse either.
Yeah. Like Ronaldo, brother, as much as we dislike Ronaldo for his arrogance and all that.
Oh, his work rate, his mentality.
Work rate off the field to keep himself healthy is insane.
And I'll say this as well, Cal. I've been saying this for ages. I think injuries sometimes come down on the players as well.
Yeah, they do.
The way you look after yourself.
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes genetics get in the way and your body, it just can't be helped. It can't be helped no matter what you do. Right, it's just something in your body. It's just like it's the way it is. Yeah. But you look at people like Messi's. They've had injuries, but nothing major, like massive. Ronaldo. Look at Salah. Plays all the time.
Yeah,
I do think sometimes you look at Hazard. The way he put on weight, injuries. Is he really thinking about the best of what he can be, or was he just happy being what he was?
Yeah,
I think someone like Hazard was just, I'm happy with what I am.
Yeah, he was.
No, like in your jobs, some people are happy just being an intern the rest of their career.
Yeah.
And some people got the drive to be the manager.
Do you know what it also comes down to as well? I think it comes down to management as well. And it's weird because Hazard's worked with some of the strongest personality managers.
Mm.
But I think he needed a manager to drop him for a sustained period and go, I don't care how talented you are. I don't care how you perform in the week. On the weekend, sorry. I need to see you perform in training to a high level before I put you in a team. Even if it means to the team's detriment, sometimes you've got to take that step and you've got to ask the board and the fans to stick with it. Because what will happen is that player will go, I'm sick, but I'm not irreplaceable. I've got to pull my socks up and I've got to battle again. And when that player who's world-class in terms of talent adds a mentality where he goes, I'm not irreplaceable anymore, you get your Salahs, you get your Manes, you get your Messis, you get your Ronaldos, you get your De Bruynes, you get all these players, and you go, wow, these players were brilliant. I think you needed someone to go, look, Hazard, the way you're treating the game, as great as you are, you can't do this because it's unfair on your teammates as well.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's like, I understand what you're saying there. It's just so, some players, like some people just don't have it in their makeup, though, do they?
No,
some people don't. No, I'm a bit like that. I'm very happy at just going about life. Very happy wherever my place is in life. That's where my place is. Yeah, I don't care if it's this or that or anything. I'm just happy wherever I'm in life. Where some people I know are like, they don't want that. They want more, and they will bust their balls to get what they want. And I sit there and like, I don't know how you do it. Congratulate you, but that's just not me. And I think that's
I know you on a personal level. I disagree with that, Jay. I don't think you're doing yourself.
I'm a lazy fucker.
I disagree. I disagree, Jay. I see how hard you work on hair. I know you've got kids like myself. I know how hard it is just to do one stream a week with
yeah,
kids.
yeah.
So I think you're doing yourself a disservice there.
Maybe. I appreciate that, but yeah, I think footballers are they're built. Some are built just differently. Some are freaks and just want to be the absolute best, and some are happy in their life. It's the way it is, and it's a shame some players didn't go on further. Like people like Quaresma, had all the ability in the world to be the best in the world if he wanted to be, but he just didn't have Ronaldo's mindset. It's just
literally
unfortunate. And I look at our players before Henderson's and things like that, and they work rate that I could never give it. Like there were there's players we were linked with in the past, and I always used to say, "Well, who's he coming in for?"
Yeah.
People go, "Well, Jordan. He's better on Jordan." Yeah, but has he got Jordan's work rate?
Yeah.
Has he got Jordan's mentality?
Will
he die for the club? I know Hendo will till Saudi money came along, but I knew. I knew he would. He'd bleed for the club. He'd put his life on the line. I watched him in that Champions League final, that Champions League semi-final with Barcelona, collapse on the pitch for exhaustion because he couldn't walk anymore. Because he put everything.
Hendo was putting in world-class performances while his dad was battling cancer.
Yeah, exactly, and that's
not
what
sleep
I like,
and stuff like that.
That's what I
like.
My
my little one's got the flu. It throws me off my work sometimes. You know what I mean? Like.
Exactly. That's all you're thinking about. So
yeah.
That's why that's why I don't like. That's why I don't like transfer windows because you get all this nonsense and stuff. That's why I don't like. Carol, that's why I don't like doing combined 11s. I hate combined 11s because I'm always like, so who's manager of this combined 11? Because what actual way we go play? Because
you're going into it too deep. That's what it is.
Makes me choose my players. That makes me help me choose my players. I'll be like, that's why I've never done it on my track. I hate combined 11s.
Do you? I quite like combined 11s. Just shout out to DR Sports. They did one recently with AGT and Flex. And it's the first time I've seen a combined 11 done in such a short time and with so much agreement. Like, it was refreshing.
Yeah.
It was refreshing.
Well,
but I also hear what you're saying when you break it down like that.
I just hate them. It's like, I'm going to do this combined 11 between Liverpool and Arsenal. It's like, all right, okay, so there's 6 Liverpool players and 5 Arsenal players. What are you on about? Should we go to 3 Liverpool players? But who's managing then? Arteta or Klopp? What system are we playing? But I'll have this player for that system. What are we doing? And then they go on recent form. So you want to do recent form because at the moment your players are better.
Yeah. Well, that's what it always is, though, isn't it? That's when they get players in.
So managers at the pick of all these players, they'll go, right, De Bruyne, you're not in recent form, but you are. I'm going to have you instead of De Bruyne. That manager would be like, what are you chatting about? I'll have De Bruyne all day.
That's mad. Exactly. All day.
That's why I don't do it. I hate it. I really do. Big up, James. Says, Jamie, if you had no drives, you would not have your own show. You have it credit. Big up. I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. Sometimes I don't feel like I have to drive. Maybe it's because I'm in my 40s there.
Nah, you do, man. You do.
Now I just go to the toilet. It's one of them things. One of them things.
You definitely got work rate. That's one thing I'd say about myself. I know I've got good work rate.
It does take a lot to do just one YouTube video. It does take a lot out of you. People, I don't think people realise it. You do a 2-hour show and you think, oh, you ain't done a 2-hour show, but it's working out what you're going to talk about. It's doing thumbnails,
graphics, all of that stuff.
Takes most of your day up, and then you're exhausted after it. I always am. Especially when people are going at you.
Yeah, exactly. I know it, bro.
For some reason, I've not done a effigy of John W. Henry yet and burn it at the stake or anything like that.
Let me ask you, PJ.
Mad. Go on.
In fact, were you ever FSG out? Have you ever been FSG out?
I was a little bit last season.
Are you still FSG out?
I don't think I am. I've come to a pit where I think no club or no owner for me does enough for the teams that they run to compete at the very top.
Legally,
yeah. If you look at Man City, you could argue, because they haven't been found guilty of anything yet, they probably do enough. They do more than enough every year to win. They want to win. I look at Liverpool sometimes. I look at Arsenal. I'm like, do they all do enough really to win the title this year? Do any of them really do it? I'm not sure. I think they could do more. I literally think Arsenal could have bought a striker as well in the summer. Financially, there's no reason why they couldn't. I think all teams are like that. And then I always say, but we only won one title in 30 years. I'm like, well, FSG have only been our owners for 13 years, so it's it's one title in 13 years, but it's also a Champions League, it's an FA Cup, it's a couple of League Cups. It's Is it FSG's fault that we finished on 97 points and were 33 millimeters away from drawing to Man City that would have won us the league that year? Was it their fault that we won the Champions League against Tottenham? Oh, we only beat Tottenham in the final, but
you beat who you play.
Is it their fault that we went for a quadruple, finished on 92 points and 1 point over, and went to the final game of the season, lost the Champions League final through a goalkeeper that had a world-class performance and strikers who should have really put the ball in the back of the net with a bit more clinical finishing, and then winning a domestic double? Is it all like we look at it on hindsight and go, well, if we bought that player to come in that season, and I was like, would we? Are we just doing things by hindsight now and not reality?
Yeah. I do think FSG left us short. I also think that's down on Klopp as well, potentially. Here's the thing.
I think all clubs leave teams short, though. I literally think all clubs leave teams short.
Yeah, you might be right. I don't think we'll really know how good FSG are or they're not until Klopp leaves, and I don't want Klopp leaving for now. So
saying that,
in the unknown.
I think we forget how much money FSG spent before Klopp came.
Yeah.
We were just buying players. Like Brendan Rodgers wanted a player, they were buying him.
No, the transfer committee was there. He'd won a position field and they would still spend it.
Yeah.
And remember, he wanted like Ashley Williams and
and they were like, hang on, look, we're letting you have
Ryan Bertrand would have been better than Moreno, to be fair to him.
Yeah, but Moreno had that. I can see why they went down that route, but
we also got Markovic and a few other players, and
that was down to the people. I've always said this with the owners, like when they came, they had no idea about Liverpool Football Club, they had no idea about football, they had no idea about all this, and they left the people in charge to run the football club.
Billy Hogan.
They leave the people in charge to run the football club. And back then it was Damien Comolli and Ian Hare, who had no idea, like, we're just running the club. Ian Hare shut the shop when we won the Champions League in 2005. You know that? He shut the gift shop. And they're like, why are you shutting the gift shop? Open it.
Hold on. Ian Hare wouldn't have been there in 2005.
No, not Ian Hare. Who's the other one? Greg Curlier, who's now EFL chairman.
Parry.
Yeah, Parry. He shut the Liverpool store.
He was almost the reason Gerrard left.
Yeah, because he had a massive bust up, didn't they? And it's just, I don't know. I think we talk about owners too much in football now, and not, as I keep saying, the great AC Milan teams I remember of the 80s and 90s. I remember the players and the managers. Same with Ajax. I don't know who run their clubs. I don't know who their owners were. Didn't care. It's what they built. And I look at the owners now, like we stayed at Anfield. They built Anfield up. It's going to be 62,000. It's a huge stadium now, especially in the where Liverpool Anfield is, in the middle of everything. It's not like in a massive
more
building.
Room to expand as well.
Yeah, and you can still expand on it. You got that massive mega store next to the stadium as well now. You got a brand new training complex. They're building up the academy from the bottom all the way up. They've gave the women have now got Melwood, world-class training facilities for the women now. And they're still getting players in. And in one summer, we've got to think about this as well. Todd Bowley spent £1 billion on Chelsea in 12 months, yeah? And they still are terrible. We got our whole midfield gone in one summer and brought a whole new midfield in one summer, and we're third in the Premier League competing.
Yeah.
It's a collective unit, in my opinion. I think it's a collective unit.
It is, because Bowley's operating on his own, and like, let's be real, Bowley's the one buying these players. It's not Pochettino.
Yeah.
It wasn't Graham Potter.
Yeah, Graham Potter didn't want half them players. He's like, who's this? This don't play my way. Now you're buying players that don't suit the manager's way of football.
Yeah.
What is the point of buying that player? I've always said this. Like, people want this player, that player. I'm like, right, does he suit Klopp's way of playing?
Yeah.
Because every manager's got a system. Pep's got his system. Klopp's got his system. Potter had his system. De Zerbi's got his system. And if them players don't suit the way they play, they're not going to change their system for one player.
No, absolutely.
They asked that player to adapt to suit their system, like Darwin. Yeah. We could have easily adapted the way we played to suit Darwin more. But Klopp went, no, Darwin has to learn the way we play.
I actually think we have adapted our way to play for Darwin.
I think it's been 50-50 in that aspect where Darwin's defensive game is built up, which Klopp wanted. Klopp wants an all-action mid-striker. That's why Origi never played, because he wants an all-action striker. Klopp don't want a striker who does nothing for 80 minutes and then scores 2 goals at the end of the game. Although that's good for us. But yeah, but I think it all goes hand in hand. Owners and managers. This is what I keep saying. This is what I keep saying about owners and managers. I think the manager can make the owner, and I think the owner can make the manager. Yeah, I think because if you look at certain clubs, they get a manager in and it don't quite work because it don't fit. Yeah. There's something not quite right, no matter how good they are. Like, Tottenham shouldn't be getting a Conte as their manager. There's no fit there. It don't make sense.
Mourinho.
It don't make sense. So it looks terrible on either side. Yeah. I think Klopp and FSG work nicely together. Ancelotti wouldn't have worked at Liverpool because he wouldn't have been getting what he wanted out of the ownership.
Yeah.
But Klopp, I just feel like that's why I always say, look at the great teams of the past, guys, and it's the players and the managers, the people at the front that you think about the most, because they made that. They're the ones who make the club work and run, in my opinion. So I'm not really bothered about this FSG in and out stuff no more. I just want them to improve the club the best they can, and just as long as they got the right people doing their job, then Liverpool will be successful. I just don't know. I can't blame FSG for not being able to compete with City financially. I can't blame them for that. Because
I don't think we have to, though.
If City are cheating, and Liverpool doing everything by the books, then it's
never a fair fight.
I think Liverpool can buy superstar footballers. I think Liverpool are very good at buying players that are on the edge of being that superstar footballer.
No, bro, we bid 115. We bid 115 mil for Caicedo. That's not publicity. That's a certified bid, because if they accepted it, then we'd have had to have pulled out the deal. Then I would have said the publicity stunt. We stayed in the deal right to the end.
Everyone said PR. The worst PR of all time. What that was is Billy Hogan was going off doing his own thing.
Yeah.
And didn't really, and then Klopp and that wanted Lavia, and Billy Hogan went, oh, I've got an opportunity here. Because Billy Hogan runs a football club.
Yeah.
He's the man behind the scenes. He's doing and I think, I personally think Klopp signs a new deal.
I do.
I think Klopp's feeling refreshed and he likes what he's looking at. And I think Klopp wants to play in this new Anfield for years to come, and he doesn't want to give that up. And he deserves it. He's built it.
Deserves it, yeah.
Look at Wenger at Arsenal. Wenger built that Arsenal team. Got him out the Emirates. Got him this brand new stadium, state-of-the-art stadium and all that sort of stuff. And I think they treated him really poorly towards the end, I have to say.
Yeah.
I hope we never treat Jurgen like that as Liverpool fans.
Yeah. I don't think we will.
And if Jurgen wants to leave, he should be allowed to. But I think Mo signs a new deal. I think Klopp signs a new deal.
Yeah.
I think Virgil and Trent sign new deals as well.
I'd be really happy with that. I hope that's not at the expense of buying players, though.
No, it shouldn't be either. But I do sort of trust our transfer policy, though, because sometimes they don't get all the players we need. But I don't blame them for the DM position this season that much, because I think the Fabinho thing caught them off guard. I think that caught them really off.
See, I do, because I think that's where you've got to be cutthroat and you go, Fabinho is brilliant for us. But
before the move on. Yeah, year before. But if Klopp sees Stefan as the DM, do the
Yeah.
owners go, look, we need a DM? But if Jurgen goes, look, Stefan's my man, I believe in this kid, and I don't want someone coming in who could stop him progressing in the future because I don't want to let him go, then are the owners go, listen to Jurgen, and they go, listen to us?
Yeah.
That's the issue we have with all this sort of stuff. But I'm quite happy. Look, I've said it before, I'm trying to be more positive this season. You know, we started the season well, got a whole new midfield. Everything's going well so far. We're into the knockout stages of the Europa League, which I really want to win. I'm actually enjoying this Europa League competition so far.
I need the Europa League. I need
Do
that.
you know what I'm enjoying about this Europa League, Cal? Going to these European clubs, these other European clubs, these smaller European clubs, and looking at their atmosphere in their games, listening to their fans, look at the stadiums and how much it means to them and stuff like that. That's the beauty of football.
Yeah.
You know, obviously last night against Villa, that was totally different. But we were just bad. But listening to them Lask fans yesterday at Anfield, non-stop,
brilliant.
It's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Brilliant.
That's the football I love, Cal. That's what I love as a football fan, and we don't see that enough. And I'm looking at the people that are qualifying for the last 16 who are top in the group. You've probably got Freiburg, Marseille, Leverkusen, Roma, maybe, and then you've got the Champions League teams that are finishing third.
Yeah.
I don't fear anyone over two legs in this competition. Leverkusen and Roma might be a bit tricky.
Leverkusen will definitely be tricky with Alonso there as well.
Yeah, well, they've won. Have you seen his record? It's mad.
Yeah.
I just don't fear anyone. And the final in Dublin, it just looks like it's meant to be. You know what I mean? It's like it's meant to be.
I think it depends on the draw we get. I genuinely believe I'll say this here. If we sign 2 players in January, we win the league and the Europa and the domestic. I think we do 3 trophies.
Do you think with the league, because I think you're right, with the league, do you think Liverpool changed their tune and how they're looking at this season now to what the beginning of the season was? Because at the beginning of the season, I think the club was just let's get back in top 4 where we belong. That's where we should be. This year we're right this season off. Let's get back where we should be, and we'll build again from there for next season. But as the season's gone on, and they're like, we only lost 1 game. All our hard games have been away from home.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to come to Anfield yet. We're 2 points off the top of the league. Do you think Klopp and the owners might have just had a little reset?
I bloody hope so, and I bloody hope they're all in a room right now saying, who can we get for DM and who can we get as a centre-back? And we can buy an attacker in the summer.
Could you imagine if we just Liverpool... I'll tell you what, if Liverpool went out and got Douglas Luiz this January, I will...
Statement.
That is a statement transfer, because then that tells me that Liverpool think they can win the league this year.
Yeah.
That thing, because if they go and get him in the summer, that will see that, didn't think they were quite ready, blah, blah, blah. But I think the league's strong this year, and people taking points off each other.
Yeah.
Villa will take points off people, Brighton, Newcastle. They'll all take points off each other. And because of that, if you put a tiny little winning streak together,
yeah, it can change everything.
It can change the narrative, but
see,
it's interesting.
My thing with January and the summer, I don't want to be sat here in May going, we missed out in the league by 2 points. How different would it have been if we'd signed a DM or someone better defensive in midfield? Kone's right there as well. I think we forget Kone's right there waiting for someone to buy him. Schmatka's son's at Mönchengladbach. Like, what are we doing there?
Yeah, I'm with you, man.
Just go and get Kone. Like, Kone's going to be about 35 mil. Go and get Kone.
Yeah. Look, there's also a certain player you can talk to on January the 1st.
K-Mac. K-Mac. If we sign him, that's what I'm going to call him. I'm going to call him K-Mac.
I've been speaking about this the other day. It's a bit of fun and a bit of like intrigue. Now, this Mbappe Liverpool stuff, I don't think Liverpool. I do actually think Mbappe wouldn't mind playing for Liverpool Football Club. I think he would love playing for Liverpool.
Real Madrid are playing games.
But the thing is, it's because Mbappe is a free transfer. It's the biggest free transfer of all time, ain't it? And because he's a free transfer, is his wage is that he's on £2 million a year at PSG. I think
2 million a year.
a week. Sorry, a week. Sorry, yeah, a week. Did I say a year? If he was on £2 million a year, I'd go and get him tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, £2 million a week at PSG is £2 million a week's madness for me, absolute madness. But what we got to remember with the PSG contract with Mbappe is it's a bit of an anomaly because they sort of like did everything in their power for him not to go to Real Madrid. So they gave him he knows he got the world at PSG and he's not going to get that wherever he goes. You know, it's an anomaly. He's looking at, apparently the rumours is he's looking at £39 million a year. That's what he wants.
What does that work out to?
Which is around 660 grand a week.
So double what Salah's on, pretty much.
Well, let me put this to you, right? Liverpool decide to let go of Salah and Thiago in the summer. I don't want this to happen, by the way, but I think this is a way Liverpool could afford it. Salah's on 350 grand a week.
Yeah.
Thiago's on 200 grand a week. You let them go in the summer. Thiago on the free. You get a transfer fee for Salah. Then with them wages, you just give the 350 grand to Mbappe. A bit like what we did with Mane. When Mane left, we gave Mane's wages to Mo on top of what he already had. That's the way we did it. You put the 350 on Mbappe, the 200 extra on top from Thiago. You offer that to him. You go, look, where else you go to play? Real Madrid don't want you. You got Liverpool, Manchester City, Arsenal, Man United, maybe, Bayern Munich. Where else you go? Like your standard.
Barca would find a way.
If Barca find a way, I'd want a court case tomorrow.
Barca would definitely find a way to get involved.
And then I'll be like, "There's Jurgen Klopp there. You know, and you know, it just what do you reckon?" And you know, you got the Nike deal as well. He's sponsored by Nike. Liverpool got the Nike deal. You got the LeBron factor. You know, you got all this that you could. I honestly think there is a way Liverpool can do it. I actually believe Liverpool could do it in a possibility, but you might have to let go of certain players you don't really want to let go. See, I'd love Mbappe left wing, Salah right wing, Darwin through the middle.
See, if we're doing that, for me, it's got to be Gakpo through the middle. You have to go back to false 9.
Whoever it is, you can put me through the middle. Sold it up and give it to one of them.
Yeah. I'll be honest. Look, I hear what you're saying. I don't want to sacrifice Salah for Mbappe.
I'd
love to see a world where they play in the same team and that be Liverpool.
Oh, that would be Saudi.
I think if Mbappe comes to England, I think he goes to Man City.
Yeah, but that's what Russell just said. Can you imagine Mbappe and Haaland?
No, I'd hate to imagine that.
I don't know if it works. I'm going to say that right now. I don't know if that works.
I think they just go for someone very, very unselfish as a right winger, and them two.
Yeah, Mbappe. See, Mbappe is the left winger.
They could even go 2 up. They could go 2 up front, Joe.
I mean, they could change it to 2 up front, but then
they could do a 3-4-1-2. De Bruyne behind Mbappe and Haaland.
I don't know. You know, I don't know if it would work. I think Haaland's one of them strikers where he's just got to be the man. I literally, you look at the way he plays, like Ibrahimovic. You look at the way Zlatan plays, yeah. Zlatan had to be the man. You know, he had to be the main striker. That's why it didn't work for him really at Barcelona under Pep.
Yeah.
And I look at Haaland and I think, yeah, Mbappe'd want 40 or 50 a season as well. And I don't know if that would work with Haaland. I think Haaland gets more out of his game because he's got people like Doku, Grealish, Foden, and Bernardo Silva around him, helping him score the goals. So I don't know. I feel Mbappe needs to go to Mbappe. It's weird, you know. I've always said it. There's 2 Mbappes. There really is. There's club form Mbappe and there's international Mbappe.
Yeah,
International Mbappe is the best player in the world. Club Mbappe, I don't think is.
No, he's not.
And that's the issue. I think Mbappe needs to go somewhere where it's going to elevate his career.
Yeah.
And it sounds mental saying that because he's a World Cup winner, but That's in international football. I mean, in
We're
club
the
football.
best fit for him. Let's just be real. We're the best fit for him.
We play his way.
We're the best
We
fit.
play his way, quick in transition. He wants one ball over the top, quick in transition. Yeah,
but it won't happen. Our owners won't sanction it because, again, even if he comes in and Salah were to go and Thiago were to go, Alisson and Virgil and Trent are knocking on that door going 600k. Yeah.
Look, I wouldn't blame any. Like, it's so much money to invest in. It is ridiculous amounts of money to invest in, and
City and Chelsea pay that sort of money though.
Yeah,
City and Chelsea will 100% do that.
I don't think it works. I don't see him at Chelsea.
I mean, if Chelsea get Champions League, don't be surprised.
I think, look, the problem is teams like Arsenal and Chelsea and that, because they're London clubs as well. London's glamour, ain't it? You know, he lives in Paris. He's a Parisian.
Yeah.
London be like another city, another glamorous city.
I don't see him going to Arsenal though.
No. It's just. Do you know this transfer of Martinelli is Martinelli of I like Martinelli of
Mbappe.
Mbappe's Gabby because there ain't many clubs he can go to for his level of a player. You know, look at German football. You'd say Bayern Munich.
Bayern don't pay those sort of wages and stuff.
Bayern don't pay it. There's no one in Italy I think he can go to that they're not there as they were used to be. If it's just 10 years ago, I'd say Juventus, but they're just not. They can't pay that no more. England, you've obviously got the big 4 or 5 teams in England that you could easily. Newcastle.
I think it's a season too early.
Can you imagine that Newcastle just go and grab him and Isaac up front?
Yeah, I think it's a season too early. If Newcastle qualify for Champions League again, maybe, but I think it's a season early. Although he has played there, he felt the atmosphere of Newcastle. Yeah,
but I also feel like Mbappe is very conscious about himself. Like he's very aware about himself. He'd want to be somewhere where he can be marketed massively. So that means a huge football club, and that's
Liverpool.
Liverpool, Man United, or Man City in England for me. And
Man City aren't a massive football club, but they could become one with Mbappe and Haaland there. And I think that's why City would be the favourites to get him, because they will know.
That's disgusting.
They will know, like, we've got the 2 most marketable players in the world probably in our team.
Oh, look, if FSG want everyone to shut up about him.
Bro, I hear you. I never see him coming to Liverpool. I don't know if Klopp would want him to either, because of how much it might upset the rest of the team in terms of from a financial standpoint. Because if he comes in at 600k, Virgil, Alisson, and Trent have every right to go to the office and go, well, I've got to be on 500 minimum.
Yeah, I mean,
Alisson, Virgil, and Trent goes, well, I'm one of the greatest right backs to play this game, and I've been transcendent for you guys. Virgil goes, without me, you don't win anything. Alisson goes, without me, you definitely don't win anything. 500k.
It's mad money, isn't it? It is. I think the money is so mad, and the position of the power. I literally think Real Madrid are the only team that can probably.
I think you still go Real Madrid.
I think they're just playing. I think Madrid want it cheaper. I think they're trying to get him.
And that's his dream as well.
I think that they pay Gareth Bale 600 grand a week.
Yeah, like they'll pay it. They'll do it. He'll go Real Madrid.
You're telling me they could have Mbappe, Rodrigo, and Vinny Jr. up front?
Yeah, I think Mbappe will play through the middle.
Vinny off the left, Rodrigo on the right, Bellingham
in the 10.
With Chouameni and Valverde. Fuck off.
Or Camavinga.
And Camavinga.
It's crazy.
That ain't being beaten.
It's crazy. Exactly.
That's not being beaten. But man, like I think Mbappe think it's good to dream. It's good to dream. But because it's a free transfer and there's no transfer fee involved, that's the only reason I think Liverpool might have a sniff. But personally, I think Liverpool should be attempting this.
Yeah,
behind the scenes. If the club we are, we should be looking at it and going, hang on,
Yeah.
Right. How can we work this out behind the scenes? What can we move around? You know, what can we look at here? That's what for a club our size, I think we should be looking at that personally, because that'd be a heck of a statement. Heck of a statement. But then, would he want to come to the Premier League? Does he want to test himself?
I think he will.
At
I just
high
think he
level.
wants Real Madrid. If he can't get Real Madrid, then I fully expect us to be in. But I still don't think
if Real Madrid eventually come out and say, "Look, we are not getting Mbappe. It's not happening," then you've got to look at it's going to be an English club.
It has to be, because that's where the money is, and he's not going. He's not going Saudi. I don't think he's saying the PSG any longer.
That's the only thing. If Real Madrid turn around and go, right, we're out of this. We're not getting Mbappe. We've got other things we're going for now. Or Mbappe tells them, "Look, I only want to play left wing." No, well, we've got Vinny Jr. there. We're not going to bring you in on this money when all our eggs are on Vinny. We've got Rodrigo on the right. We've got Bellingham here now. So they might be, because I honestly think Real Madrid are waiting on Haaland. I think that might happen in a couple of years.
I bloody hope so.
I think they're waiting on Haaland. I think that's what they're waiting on.
Well, if they're going for Haaland this summer,
we're waiting for Kel to come back. If Haaland goes there, man, jeez. Haaland would be perfect. You look at the way Madrid play. I think Haaland at Madrid is very similar to Haaland at Man City, because you've got Valverde, you've got Vinny Jr. and Rodrigo in wide areas that are unselfish wingers.
Bellingham behind him.
And then you've got Bellingham behind. I think
if Haaland, let's say City go for Haaland this summer, Mbappe is 100% going City. City will pull out every one of their.
They just use the money they sold Haaland for and then just put it all on Mbappe, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
But then here's a caveat. Does City just have to be a little bit careful at the moment?
No.
Because if you noticed in the last couple of transfer windows,
was Pablo Escobar careful? No.
Should have been. He might have
was Denzel Washington an American gangster? Was he careful when he shot Idris Elba in the street? No, like
I haven't watched that yet.
Oh.
I'm joking.
Like
spoilers for anyone who ain't seen it.
Yeah. Man, let's be real. Man City have been doing this in broad daylight for years now.
Yeah.
But me and you have been questioning this since like 2018, 2019. Like they've been doing this for a while. Like no one in their right mind can believe Man City turn over more revenue. But the pandemic, everyone else made a loss, but they're the only team in the world that made a profit.
In the world, including Real Madrid.
Do me a favor.
And do you know what? You were at Pep's conference today as well, urging Man City fans to try and fill out the stadium. So their manager is telling them they don't fill out the stadium, but they got the biggest revenue in world football.
Crazy.
Look, I know they won the treble, and that's going to give them massive revenue. But
and they still got to pay player bonuses and all those things.
But once they pay out what they pay out after that, that probably takes a lot of that up.
Yeah, of course.
And they don't. There's no way they sell more tickets, more shirts than Liverpool, Real Madrid, Man United, Barcelona, Bayern Munich. They just. Here's a question: do you ever see anyone wearing a Man City?
Oh my God! I swear to God, I was just about to ask you that question.
Does anyone ever? Everyone in the chat, when you're walking the streets or you're out on holiday or anywhere you're in the world, do you ever see anyone with Manchester City merchandise?
Barely.
Anywhere.
Bro, I've been to Barbados, Hawaii, Turkey, everywhere I've gone. I've seen Liverpool fans. I've seen Liverpool fans. I had never seen City fans. Like even at Stevie's school, Stevie just started reception. Oh, what teams did the kids in your class support? I think he said one Man City fan. Like the rest are like Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea. You don't see, man. Like where is the money coming from? Come on, man. It's bait. It's so obvious.
It's like FIFA. Have you seen that documentary on FIFA on Netflix?
Yeah, on Netflix.
When Platini goes into the office, he voted Australia and America, sorry, and then went in the office and come back out patting his jacket. Went, oh,
yeah. It's
so blatant.
It's so obvious.
It's just, Yeah, I don't. This is the thing. I go even in London where we are. It's like I see a lot of Liverpool shirts. I see United shirts. I see Arsenal shirts. Chelsea shirts. You know, the bloke who did my Liverpool tattoo who was a West Brom fan. I've seen more West Brom fans in London than Man City fans.
I couldn't tell you the last time I've seen a Man City fan in London.
And when you watch it, when you go around, when they pan the camera at the Etihad in European games,
yes,
no Mancunians there. They're all tourists with half and half scarves.
Yeah.
So I don't get. And do you know how easy it is to get a Man City ticket?
Yeah, of course it is. They were selling them on Groupon and all these places at once.
I can go online right now and get a Man City ticket for the last Champions League game, and I'm not even a Man City fan.
We could probably get it for a game. You could probably get it for the game tomorrow.
It's just, but season ticket, you know, the likelihood of us getting a season ticket at Liverpool right now because we've never been in the ballot is probably years. 10 years, probably.
We're not getting Liverpool seats. The only reason there'll be empty seats at the stadium is because something cropped up on the day for people.
Yeah, it's impossible to get tickets.
You've got a waiting list for a season ticket at Liverpool. They had to build new stands and stuff to cut the waiting list down.
It's like 15 years. No one gives them up. Why would you give the season ticket?
Why would you give it up?
Look, they're clever with their. Let's put it this way: they're clever with the books, and
I mean they're just blatant with it. I think
if they can get away with it, things, Cal, they're allowed to get away with it.
Yeah, and I think they will. I do think they're
allowed to get away with it.
They'll continue to get away with it because the Premier. Here's the thing: the Premier League go and reprimand them. The Premier League look really bad. Plus, then it becomes a debate. Well, what happens to all those leagues that and stuff they've won? What happens? Does it go to the next team down? Does it do we just call those seasons null and void? Like what actually happens?
Well,
they took 6 points. Let's say they took 6 points of a team that finished 1 point off safety. Does that what the implications are far more ranging than what we just see on the surface?
It's impossible to deal with. All you have to do if they found guilty is they don't pass anything down and they're allowed to keep their honours, but they get relegated.
I want those trophies, Jay. I can't.
That's all. Brendan Rodgers could be a Premier League champion.
Bro, I would.
Klopp should be a 3-time Premier League champion. Do you know that 97-point era? That never signed 97-point season when we won the Champions League.
We'd have done the Invincibles as well.
And a double.
Yeah.
Premier League Champions League double. It's just look, Etihad Airways bought Aguero. No one said anything.
Yeah.
Just allowed to happen. Because have you seen the paperwork where it says Etihad Airways were the main person that? And do you know who owns Etihad Airways?
Yeah, them. It's crazy, bro.
But the thing is, though, ain't this criminal?
Yes.
And it's come under criminal activity. So in Italy, when it happened, because they were bribing refs, it was a criminal offence. They're all doing time.
Yeah.
They don't mess around. Didn't they dock Juventus 15 points last season in the middle of the season or something mad like that?
Yeah, something crazy. Yeah. They've just done it to Everton.
Well, here's one for you. Do the Premier League care if Everton are in the Premier League?
Not as much as City is.
But would they care more if it's City and Chelsea?
As in
what brings in viewers from around the world? Chelsea and Man City games
Chelsea and Man City way more than Everton.
That's why Everton got done, because they're the little boys.
Yeah.
They're the little boys. They're not, and I'm not calling Everton a small club. Anyone comes at me, I'm just saying, financially speaking, City are going to bring the biggest lawyers of all time. This all hearing. Everton, they're not, are they? It's not going to be. So they can punish Everton League without no comeback.
Yeah,
where Chelsea and City,
they ain't going to do anything. Chelsea might get a little slap on the wrist because they're serial offenders, aren't they? They're constantly doing something. Like even going back to Gael Kakuta and all that, they've just constantly been doing something wrong. But it won't. Neither of them will get relegated.
No,
they both should, but the Prem can't, because then the Prem look really bad.
Yeah, it's just the little boys get the brunt of it, and the big boys survive. It's always been the case.
Yeah.
That's why I hate the talk of the Super League. Everyone keeps moaning about it. It's like we live in the Super League.
I was going to say Champions League's about to become a Super League next season.
And the elite clubs run world football, do they not?
Yeah.
Do the elite clubs care about their smaller clubs in their borough, in their area, in their towns, in their cities? Did the Manchester clubs care about Bury?
No.
Or care about Bolton or around the Greater Manchester area? Could have helped them out financially. Could have gave them a leg up.
Yeah.
Looked after them. Did they care? No. So what's the difference?
There is.
The only difference is because a certain company's not going to get a piece of the pie.
Yeah.
Is that the real issue?
Bro, nothing's gonna happen to those teams. It's just not. Like
it's not.
There's just not.
And I hate it. I can understand why people are getting fed up with football. And then before we go, that sin bin rule that they're trying to bring in, Cal, it's absolutely. What are they doing to our game?
All right, hear me out. Hear me out, Jay. Hear me out.
Oh, hang on. You've got to do it.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
Go for it.
I'm okay with it if they're consistent with the rule. For me, the rules of the game only become a problem usually when there's a lack of consistency. But we'll watch Liverpool games and we'll see a midfielder driving through the ball and we'll see their midfielder drag one of our midfielders by the shirt. That's a yellow card. That's an automatic yellow card. It's in the rules. And the ref will let it go.
Never gets given. No.
Never gets given. So, but then 10, 15 minutes later, Liverpool player will do the same thing, get a yellow card. That's where the issue is. It's not the rules. It's the enforcement of the rules. And they're just not consistent. I don't mind the sin bin. I don't mind it. They won't enforce it properly.
What does it go down to? Could we see 9-a-side teams, like, because people in sin bins and stuff like that?
If it has to, it has to.
I just feel like I don't think replays and all this should be in football. I'm just happy. I think the referees in this game were making better decisions before VAR came along, in my opinion. There was always going to be human error when games are played at 100 miles an hour. A referee sometimes going to miss something. When it's played so quick, we can go, okay, look, human error is human error. It happens, but how many times does it happen in a game? Not many. And now we've got VAR, and the same human beings are watching the replays and still can't get it right. This is the issue we have. Like, they're watching a replay. Like, you and me could do VAR tomorrow. I bet we get most of the decisions right.
100%.
They're looking at it. They got 4 monitors, and they're looking at it. They can pause it, they can rewind it, they can freeze it where they want it, and they're still coming up with awful decisions.
Yeah, that's for me the issue. I'm so in favor of VAR. I really am. Because there's been so many times where it's given us the actual, like, without VAR, I'll be honest, I don't think we would have won what we've won because they would have found a way to screw us.
Yeah. And
for me, it's just the people doing it. It's the people behind VAR.
They're not enforcing it. And there's too many, that handball for Newcastle. It's just madness because PSG, if Newcastle won that game, PSG are on the verge of going out of Champions League.
Yeah.
And you can't tell me there's not corruption in it.
Yeah, there is. There absolutely is.
PSG are money men. They bring money to UEFA.
Look at Rodri in the Everton game with the handball.
The most blatant handball ever. And they looked at it for about 2 minutes and said no handball. And then Man City, I'll give it to Man City fans. They made shirts with Rodri's handball after the title.
Yeah.
Because they knew it was blatant handball.
Yeah. It's crazy.
You've seen these decisions and I don't. And now they want. Now they're trying to get. They want corners and goal kicks and throw-ins now for VAR and yellow card offences. And I think this was what the issue was for people when this came in, is that, right, what is the VAR? Is it for the offsides and the goals? Okay, leave it as that because they're so, we've seen linesmen, give offsides when they're not offside and stuff like that because of the speed of the game. Fair enough. But then it weren't, and then they stopped that. Now VAR is looking at everything. They literally try. not let goals be scored.
With corners, that should literally be a 3-second thing. Like we see it, like when they do replays on like Sky or TNT, we see it within 3 seconds whether that's a corner or not. So again, I don't have a problem with them introducing it. It's just how they do it. Like, it shouldn't take 6-7 minutes to decide whether it's a goal or not. It just shouldn't.
It's like a blatant corner. You don't need to go VAR. But a corner maybe where it's come off their leg, and the players.
Yeah, I do think
so. Because it, they could look at that for 3 seconds and go, yes, and you play on. You don't even know
it's a goal scoring opportunity potentially.
Yeah, you don't know that's happening behind the scenes because the ref's like, yeah, it's definitely a corner. Carry on, move on. But the problem is they'll look at that for about 2 minutes. And get all different angles up, and and I do feel sorry for the refs on the pitch because they're not refereeing the game no more. They're just there. They're just a man with a whistle because they're gutless as well. Because
I do
as soon as they go to the monitor, they're going to change their decision, although they don't believe that decision's correct.
Yeah.
Because they gave a decision for a reason. Then there's some geezers in their earpiece going, I don't know. And he's like, no, I don't think it was a penalty. Oh, we think you need to go and look at the monitor because John's found this replay. We'll go show you. And he changes his mind. And he's like, no, that's gutless, man. Go with what you didn't believe it was a penalty. It's not a penalty. Let's move on and play because it's not making the game more exciting. It's actually making the game worse. And that's not what we want.
They need to have a full revamp and see how they're going to make this go forward. So I do think it'll be a shame if we lose out of VAR going forward. I do.
It should just be brought in for what it was meant to be for. Serious red card fouls that might be missed, offsides that might be missed, and things like that, and just leave it as that because I don't think the rest needs to be messed with. That's why I like the League Cup because there's no VAR.
Yeah, but it was
more exciting game.
Yeah, but here's a problem though. If a team has a goal disallowed wrongly and then they lose the game 1-0 when it could have been a draw and gone into extra time or penalties, I would feel furious with that. Like, look how angry we are at the Luis Diaz situation. Imagine there was no VAR, man's flagged, and then we look back on it, we're like, that's miles on. You should have seen that. We're still as angry as we are with VAR. So I'd rather keep it. I get where you're coming from, Joe. I really do, but I'd just rather keep it because at least there's something potentially there to save a situation. Whereas if there's no VAR, it just becomes open reign again, and you'll start to see full bias from referees, which I don't want to see anymore.
My worry is, and this is my worry, there's too much money in football, and now when you've got replays that can benefit the teams with more financial muscle.
Yeah, that's true.
That's my issue because if that was Newcastle, I don't think if Newcastle played Dortmund in that game, I don't think it would have been a penalty. And that's where people got it just looks, sometimes when we're watching it, it just looks like blatant corruption in front of us. The Liverpool-Tottenham game, I mean, it's just, and they said they can't reset the game. And then I watch a game the following week where they reset it. It's mental.
It's mental.
It's just lies. But look, it's not the system that's the problem. It's the people in charge of the system.
Exactly.
That's the issue. Get rid of their system. I always said the people controlling VAR should not know who the referees are. They shouldn't know them by Adam. They should never have met them. It should be an independent panel.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And so it's not their mates. Because if you were refereeing the game and I was VARing, I don't want to upset you. Do you know what I mean? So that's how their mindset is.
Yeah.
They don't want to upset their mates by going, look, that's a bad call, man. This is what really happened. So get an independent panel in there and I think it'd be all right. There's too much of conspiracy theories showing. Maybe.
There's a lot there that shows that it's happening.
But there is some things where you got to look at it and think, the elite clubs get all the benefit.
Yeah.
I mean, the elite clubs do get the benefit, to be fair.
Yeah.
Right, guys, that is our show finished. Loads of before we go, Cal, score for tomorrow. Sunday, sorry.
2-1 Liverpool.
Yeah, I'm going 5-0. I,
I hope so.
I think we're looking to give a team a beating. You know, I think we're looking to give a team a beating, and yeah, suppose I had a bit of rest. Mac Allister had a bit of rest. I think Gravenberch will play to Curtis. Salah's on fire. Matip back in the team. Virgil back in the team. Yeah, Simicast. And by the way, he's playing really well now. He's playing more games. Big up to Simi. I'm going for a big win, man. I'm going for a big win. You know, 5-0. 5-0. And then we somehow draw the Sheffield United in midweek. The Liverpool way. The Liverpool way.
No, I think it's a tight game. I think it's going to be a tight game.
Yeah, I want an easy one, man. I want to sit there Sunday at 2 o'clock chill.
Oh, bro, I'd love it to be an easy game.
I want to sit there Sunday at chill. Putting up the Christmas decorations tomorrow. And then Sunday, I want to sit there, relaxed, watching a 2 p.m. kickoff, and we just wipe the floor.
Yeah.
You know?
Facts. No, facts.
That's all I need to do. That's all I need to do. Guys, thank you very much for joining me and Cal. Guys, don't forget to go and subscribe to Coppish if you've not already. And also go and subscribe to Cal's MMA channel if you've not already. Some great stuff.
Bro. Thank you so much for having me, Jay, bro.
No worries, my man. No worries. Guys, have a good weekend. Whatever you're doing, I will see you again Sunday afternoon for the match reactions, guys. So make sure you go tune in to Coppish match reactions. Watch along as well. Big love. Thank you very much. Enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye for now.